Hit it too early. Welcome to a terrible football show. I'm Alex Light with Sparky 3. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day today. We're coming back after our bye week, and I got all the boys here with me. Boys, how we doing? How we feeling after our bye week? We feeling good? We feeling good? We ready to get into it?
Yeah, well, we should cover that we missed over the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, we really do have a lot of stuff to talk about here today. Jacob, Ricky, how you boys doing?
Almost died.
That's true. He did. Shout out to Jacob not dying. Thank God.
I'm glad you're back, Jacob. But let me start off the show today by giving you my love for Ohio State, everybody. I just want to let y'all know my love for Ohio State.
Yes.
He's a huge Ohio State fan.
And this is on the record. So yesterday I was rooting for Iran to beat England just because Iran was the complete huge underdog, and England is just a superb freaking deal when it comes to soccer and everything like that. This is how much I love Ohio State. There are only two teams I would ever root for Iran to win. That's against England, and if they ever played Ohio State. That's my love for Ohio State. I would root for a bunch of commies over Ohio State. Because if you really think about it, commies and Ohio State have something in common. They want to be the best, and they want to take over the world. End of story, people. End of story. That is my love for Ohio State.
That's one way to start the show, let me tell you. Oh, man. Well, Ricky actually doesn't have a lot of time on today's show. He's going to be dipping out here in probably about 15 minutes. So, once we're going to kind of get the show going right here before the college football playoff live reactions, we're going to give a chance, give Ricky a chance to talk about really anything that he wants to chat about here today, any takes on anything at all that happened over this past weekend, anything that he wants to throw out there for his own personal thoughts. But if you could join the Discord, we definitely appreciate that. You can come chat with us, join the show, check out our Agent Ink shop to buy the jerseys. Yeah, we're three of us are wearing our jerseys. Let's go.
I'm going to a Thanksgiving banquet. I'm sorry, people.
Yeah, he's literally leaving in like 15 minutes.
It's under his polo.
Yeah. We'll just that's the cannon that's under his polo. But these things are clean, so we highly recommend picking up a jersey and join the team. We also have the other jerseys in the shop for Sparky 3, GameStack, and Man Plus as well. We also have a couple hats. I need to grab the hats. Haven't got around to doing that. But definitely show us some support there. Pick up the jerseys, the link down in the description below. Check out the website and all that stuff. I can go ahead and start turning down the music here. So we got about 15 minutes until the college football playoffs ranking show starts. Which honestly, if we would have done the show last week, we wouldn't even got to watch it. We were going to throw out our predictions, and that was going to be it because it was going to be at 9 o'clock Eastern time last week.
Yeah, and it wasn't even until 9:15 Eastern. They went way over because of the basketball games.
Yeah, no chance we would have got it. But yeah, we'll get it. It starts at 7 Eastern time, so 6 our time. So I've got it pulled up already, ready to go. So we'll live react to that. And also with college football coming to a close, we're going to be chatting about our top 5 Heisman favorites right now. A very unfortunate injury this past weekend that obviously completely destroyed Heisman chances there. He's obviously no longer going to be in the running. That's a very unfortunate injury for for Hendon over there with Tennessee. So that sucks. T's and P's on that front, but. We will be doing our top 5 Heisman favorites as of right now. Because we're going to do a lot of college football here today, since college football, the regular season is about to wrap up. We still got weeks to go on NFL, so we got plenty of time to really dive into pro. In future episodes. But I feel like this episode is going to be a lot of college football talk. Between the rankings, Heisman favorites. And then also, Jacob had something he wanted to throw in here, talking about teams that are still alive in the college football playoffs. So a lot to dive into today, especially since, like Shane said, we were on our bye week last week. Back in action today. But with all that said, Ricky, did you have some topics lined up that you wanted to get off your chest before you have to bounce out of here in about 15 minutes?
Well, first of all, how about them Cowboys? My gosh, what a game they played last week.
That was on us to talk about.
That's what I've been waiting on. Now, if we can just wait for that moment when Dak is finally going to take this team, whenever the running game isn't going well, when everything else isn't going well, I'm waiting for that moment we could finally say Dak's going to take over. But we'll wait on that for another time. But that was a damn near perfect game they played the other day. I did not see many flaws. When you give up 3 points against a Minnesota Viking team who was 8-1 at that point, a team that, I'm just going to be honest. Last week, had we done the show, that was a team I was going to bring up as possible a Super Bowl contender. they still could in retro speaking, but the fact that I was so high on them last week and the Cowboys kicked their ass, I think that was just beautiful. My Hogs did get a win, even though I did pick them to lose. That was a beautiful game, even though we gave up 400 rushing yards on the freaking ground. I mean, like we're like some freaking run it. Let's just run it all over us. I don't understand that. I just don't. But it's okay.
No,
We
I
still won the
will
game.
say we gave up probably about 280 of that in the fourth quarter. So
I will agree. I will. Yes, I do. Yes, we did. We really did. Still a lot of concerning though. But the one thing that does make this future bright for Arkansas is that they are still very very young and that they are still developing that younger talent. So I will give them that much. And then I'll say one more thing. And I'll watch my language. Oh nope, the kid's gone. Okay, I was about to say I was going to watch my language, on this one, but now that the kid is gone, I don't have to watch my language on this one. Really hope that I'm wrong about this, but Lane Kiffin is a sorry lying sack of shit. How in the hell? So first of all, everybody knows you're going to Auburn, man. Everybody knows he's going to Auburn. Even Auburn knows he's coming, but everybody's got to deny this report just so that way he can get away with this past week. And I guarantee you, he had his decision made during the Arkansas game when Arkansas was up 42-6. I would have made that decision before then because it's like, man, we're down 42-6. Arkansas's not even that good. We're down 42-6. And you have the galls to lie to a reporter. Everybody knows you're going to Auburn, man. They all know it. We've seen this before. We saw this with USC. We saw it with Tennessee. We saw this with the Oakland Raiders. We've seen this everywhere. And I actually rooted for this guy. I rooted for this guy because here's the thing. I don't know if any of y'all have been around Ole Miss or anywhere around the facility down there in Oxford, but there's literally a shit. It's literally a shithole that surrounds Oxford, y'all. There's nothing around it. It's like you're better off going to Kansas, people, than going down to Oxford. I'm just being honest.
I actually want to double up on that because I consider myself a former resident of Mississippi, thanks to my last job where I literally lived there Sunday to Friday for 30 weeks straight. And in multiple cities across Mississippi, which included Oxford. That campus sucks nut, and so does Starkville. I've said it before on this show before. Mississippi State, Starkville is a complete shithole. Granted, the whole state is. I'm sorry if anyone's from Mississippi watching right now, but I'm just being very real with you. The only nice thing about Mississippi was Madison. That's the one blip on the map. But yeah, I mean, I doubled down with you on that. And actually, with the Lane Kiffin thing, it's funny. Whenever I saw the tweet about that, from one of the people who reported it, one of the comments on there, I'm assuming it's true. I checked out his profile. Looks legit. Seems legit. But one person that commented was actually a realtor that personally showed Lane Kiffin houses in the Auburn area. So
here's the thing: if he does leave Ole Miss for Auburn, I have zero problem with that. I want to go on the record and I want to say that. But don't come out flat out and lie about it. If you're going to Auburn, go to Auburn. I don't blame you. Your recruiting is going to be a lot better down there. And hell, it actually gives me a chance to root for Auburn when they play Alabama. It really does. Just for the simple fact is that, even though Alabama is one of my favorite teams in college football, I actually get a chance to I'd actually root for Lane Kiffin down at Auburn because I think he would do a terrific job down there. But stop lying, man. I mean, you're better than that. You literally came around and revised yourself under Nick Saban, and everybody, including myself, thought, man, this guy might have actually changed a little bit. This dumbass hadn't changed one bit. He's the same dumbass he was 15, 20 years ago. He's going to be the same dumbass 15, 20 years from now. And that's just, it's Lane Kiffin, and that's all there is. And then I will go real quick, and then we can dive into whatever topics y'all want to for the next 10 minutes, however y'all want to do it. So, Arkansas, I'm sorry, Arkansas fans, we're going to lose this week. We have never beaten Missouri back-to-back years in this stupid battle line rivalry or whatever the hell you want to call it. And that dates back to even before this stupid rivalry began. This rivalry. Yeah,
I agree. I agree. That is not a rivalry.
It's just another stupid game that the SEC wants to be like, here's a
rivalry, guys.
No,
here's a nice little
screw
trophy.
You, SEC. LSU is our rival.
True.
Now.
True. I'm not even an Arkansas fan, and I'll agree to that.
And I'll go ahead and say this much, and this can kind of lead in because I don't know if we're going to start with the top four or not. But here is the lead in. A couple of weeks ago, Jacob mentioned something, and now we can for sure definitely mention this. It is if this game between Ohio State and Michigan stays close, which I think it will be, Ohio State's going to win. It's going to happen. I'm rooting for Michigan, but I don't think Michigan has a good passing game. to save their lives. They're not going to be able to run the football all over the place like they did last year. And so now, with that being said, if this game does stay close, now we can really have a serious discussion of two Big Ten teams in the playoff this year. And I think there's a very good chance, especially if TCU loses. Now, if TCU goes undefeated, they may take a conference champion. I wouldn't take a Pac-12 conference champion and put them over a one-loss Big Ten team. They may even look down to Clemson, which I hope South Carolina beats the crap out of them, but I don't think it's going to happen.
hey, we're going to talk about that here in a bit.
And I know that the committee is really high on LSU, but I'm still not buying that a two-loss team should be in the 14 playoff. Unless you have multiple two-loss teams, we should not have LSU in a 14 playoff. But I think one thing that we could definitely say from this college football season, more than any college football season I think I've seen in a very long time, is that we can honestly say if you go the top 10, top 15 teams, it's anybody's ball game. This college football season has been so far spread out this year, it's not even funny. We have two lost teams who are beating the brakes off of undefeated teams. We have one loss teams who are just as good as some of these undefeated teams that are at the top. The only difference is that they've lost and these undefeated teams haven't. So if there's any argument that we need to expand the playoffs, which it's already been approved,
right?
Now is the time to do it, because this is the first time that I can honestly say if you had 1 through 8, 1 through 12, whatever you want to call it, it's anybody's football game. This is a great year for college football.
100% agree. I actually got a couple questions here from Chad in the chat. So the first thing that he asked earlier is, where do we think Tennessee's going to fall? Top 8 or top 15 was the first one. And then he also said with the 93rd worst schedule, he says no, Michigan will not be in if they lose, which that is a fair point.
That is a fair point. But the one thing you have to tell yourself is, when you even your wins and your losses, do you have enough quality wins to back your one loss? I don't think they necessarily do, but you also have to ask yourself, would you take a one-loss Michigan team with a close loss to Ohio State, who I have said the entire year, as much as I hate them commie motherfuckers, that Ohio State has been the best team the entire season. I've said it from day one. Ohio State has been the best team all year long. I picked them to win the national championship. I picked them in week 1. I'm picking them now. But you have to ask yourself, what else can happen? Why would you take Clemson over Michigan? Why would you take LSU, a 2-loss team, over Michigan? Why would you take, if TCU were to lose, if TCU were to somehow lose, would you take a 1-loss Big 12 champion over a 1-loss runner-up in the Big 10? So that's where you really have to balance out everything. If the game's a blowout, I agree. Michigan's not even going to see the light of day when it comes to the top 4. But that's the thing with college football. With this committee, you just never know.
Good points. What's your take? What's you guys' take on Tennessee as well?
I think with Tennessee, I think they dropped top 15 because I think from
agree.
this point,
I agree to that,
and I because for two reasons. For one, the amount of the loss to South Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't lose 63 to 38.
Yeah, I think that
and expect a top 8 finish.
Yeah,
and plus I think they're going to take into consideration that moving forward, that they're going to be playing without Hendon Hooker, and that significantly makes their team worse. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they're in the 15 to 17 range.
I don't think they're going to go that far, but I mean, I think they're going to go far enough where they're done. I don't see them going outside the top 15.
12.
12 is a good number.
I could agree to 12.
12 is a good number.
Yeah, I could agree to 12 completely. No, and once again, I still just want to hammer the fact, with the stuff that happened with Hendon Hooker, that is just that's devastating. That really is. Like, not only for obviously Tennessee, but just for him. Because he is. I'm pretty sure he is a senior, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that right there cost him a lot of money, unfortunately. He'll definitely still go. I feel like pretty high in the draft, but that cost him a lot of money, which is very unfortunate.
There's always openings in the XFL.
Hey, let's go Guardians. Let's go Guardians, man.
And as far as my opinion on the whole Michigan thing, if Michigan loses, I'm sorry, but I think you still have to take a 1-loss Big 12 over a one-loss runner-up. And the only reason is because we've found out that, in my opinion personally, that the Big 12 is a lot deeper than what we initially thought it was with the upcoming of Kansas and Oklahoma State. Yes, Oklahoma's down this year, but then you got Tennessee, Texas, Texas Tech. Like that conference was a lot tougher than what we thought coming into this year. And to me, the Big Ten is still the Big Ten. Yes, you have Illinois and Minnesota that were decent this year. Um, but at the end of the day, I'd still think the Big 12 was kind of a tougher conference than what the Big 10 is. Because in my opinion, it's still Ohio State and Michigan than everybody else.
So that also brings up a question then, if you do go the route where you knock out Michigan, let's say they come up at 5, who's coming in at 4? Because you would assume Georgia and Ohio State at 1 and 2, you would assume TCU at 3. Who would be that 4th? Would it be USC? So picking USC over Michigan essentially.
No, because they're losing this week to Notre Dame.
Oh,
and that'll look even better for Ohio State, so that's fine by me. But I don't think they're going to lose to Notre Dame. It'll be USC sitting at that number 4 spot.
I don't know. Notre Dame's played some great football, gentlemen. I don't know.
They have turned it around. Ricky does bring up a great point on that one. They've turned it around completely.
Man, but this also brings up the argument: if LSU wins the SEC championship game, do you take a 2-loss SEC champion over a 1-loss Pac-12 champ?
Also
no,
a good question.
I think you do.
No,
I would.
No, absolutely not.
If USC wins the champion, the Pac-12 championship, are you gonna? Well, I guess I would still take USC because, in my personal opinion, LSU is not as good as they're presenting. I think right now the thing that's winning LSU games is people not really realizing how good Jaden Daniels is on the ground. I've seen some major issues him throwing the ball. But when he's getting out of the pocket and running, for 20-yard gains at a time, it's causing defenses some major struggles. And I think that's what's really helping this LSU offense. I think their defense is great. I think LSU's defense is a top 15 defense. But I think when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, if they go up against a defense like Georgia, like we're going to see in the SEC championship, I think they're going to be exposed because you've got some speed on that Georgia defense that's going to be able to keep up with Jaden Daniels and really punish that offensive line.
Let me throw a curveball here with that question that I asked. What if LSU beats Georgia in the SEC championship by 14 plus points?
So
if they beat Georgia by 14 plus?
Yep.
I feel like you're making an early prediction right now.
If it's a convincing win like that by 13, 14, 17 points, then I still think you got to put Georgia in there no matter what. I don't think you put them in at number 1.
Oh no, yeah, Georgia is locked at this point.
But I think at that point, it's definitely some strong consideration in putting them over USC, especially if USC squeaks by Notre Dame. But if then again on the flip side, what if LSU beats Georgia by 14, but then USC beats Notre Dame by 21? It's like, okay, well.
So here's the thing. Let's assume USC is going to beat Notre Dame this weekend. Let's just assume that's going to happen. So my whole take on this, now personally, would I put LSU in there? Absolutely, because I hate USC as much as I do Ohio State. I just hate Ohio State a little bit more. Anyways, no, I take that back. No, I hate USC a little bit more. I rooted for Ohio State to actually beat USC. It's the only time I ever rooted for Ohio State. All right, so anyways, here is my entire take on this playoff committee. Because the one thing that has bugged me from this committee that you've seen and that we have not seen as much in the past committees, they're taking everything that's happening right now when this entire agenda is supposed to be to look at the overall season that these teams have had. So first of all, we have to take it to the account that whenever you look at these teams, you have to look at their losses to begin with. As not only do you have to, well, I say that you have their quality wins and everything like that, but you also have to look at their losses. So let's take, for example, Tennessee was on top of the world whenever they beat LSU. Yep. So I'll give Tennessee all kinds of credit on that one. We cannot forget that Florida State beat LSU, and I understand that it was week 1. But if we're going to take the overall picture, and if we're going to stick with the same formula that we have stuck with throughout this entire college football playoff, we've never seen a 2-loss team get in. Why would you want, and I understand that conference championships mean a whole lot. I understand that your quality wins mean a whole lot, but the losses have to mean something. And this is what sucks about football, is that football, especially in the college realm and somewhat in the high school realm, not as much in the high school realm as it is at college, but you have to almost be near perfection whenever it comes to a college football team to be even considered one of the top tiers when it comes to college football. So in my opinion, would I put LSU above USC? Yes, because personally I hate USC and I don't think they're that good, and I think LSU is better than USC at this point. But if we're going to go by one formula, the same formula, we have to look at everybody's schedule. We have to look at Florida State's schedule. We have to look at the fact that, yes, Florida State has turned it around completely from last year. But who else have they lost to this year? We can't forget Florida State's losses. They lost to Clemson. I can't remember who the other ones they lost off the top of my head.
NC State and Wake Forest.
Okay, and and then we look at NC State, Wake Forest. We look at the inconsistencies that we've seen from NC State and Wake Forest, and we look at the inconsistencies that Florida State's had. So right off the bat, as good as Florida State has been this year, they're not in a top tier level yet compared to what some of these other teams are. And like I said, I understand this at the beginning of the season. And I understand that everybody wants to go the feeling of now. We're supposed to look at everybody's schedule from top to bottom, from week 1 to week 13, because there's a bye in between. And we have to look at that and say, are these the best 4 teams? Were these the best 4 teams? They may not necessarily have been the best 4 team from week 1 till now. But now, if we're looking at their overall, are these the best 4 teams? That's what we have to ask ourselves. And if we go by recent history, if we go by the formula that these committees have had, and I'll give you the one example, Alabama. Alabama was a runner. They didn't even go to the SEC championship game, and they took Alabama over a 2-loss Big Ten Ohio State champion. And what did everybody do? Everybody said, well, Ohio State should have been in. They're conference champions. So if we're going to go by this formula, we have to stick with this formula. I don't care if they're a conference champion or not. LSU should not be getting in with 2 losses unless by some miracle we have these undefeated teams that get 2 losses within the next couple of weeks, which is not going to happen. But I'm just saying in general, if we get all these undefeated teams with 2 losses in the next couple of weeks, LSU does not need to be in the playoff.
But I think with the differences right now in Ohio State and that Alabama game, when Ohio that debate. Sorry, I'm kind of getting befuddled here because I was listening to the playoff thing. But anyways, I think the big thing was that though is I'm pretty sure that's the year that that Alabama only lost to Texas A&M, and it was by a last second touchdown. But we clearly knew.
And Ohio State had 2 losses to 2 teams they should not have lost to.
But I think what comes down to it though is I think what the whole reason why we have human voting on this is because a big part of it is an eye test. And I think from just the eye test alone, they saw that, okay, even though Alabama has this 1 loss that prevented them from going to the SEC championship, that we can still clearly see and debate that Alabama is the better team than Ohio State at that time. So that's why they pushed them in. And I think that's what can happen now.
And I agree with that. But now we're going to take it. We're going to flip-flop that. That's just what I'm saying, though. I don't think a 2-loss team should be in it unless there are multiple 2-loss teams being considered for the top 4. That's just all I'm saying about that's just my opinion on it.
The show has started. The college football playoff show. We're waiting for the first set of ranks to come in. By the way.
All right, well, guys, I'm heading out. Y'all have a good show. I'm rooting for you guys. I'll listen whenever you post this, Alex. Yeah. And if by some miracle you guys are still on, I'll come back on. But I don't know if you guys will be on by the time I get back. Y'all have a good one.
All right, man. You too. He is a legend at how quick he moves out of a call.
Yeah, I know. We can't even say bye. He's just gone.
Like, I want everyone watching and listening to also know that, like, whenever we're done with the show, like, as the music's playing and I go to the outro screen, this man's already gone. He's a legend.
Yep.
He's a legend. Oh, so for all the teams we were chatting about there, Chad also threw out that that they lost to Auburn that year as well. And and Chad, of course, he is a Georgia fan,
Yeah,
so
but
he
that
is
was
very hard adamant
was
that LSU will
that was
not beat Georgia.
That was kick 6 though, right? I mean, that was the kick 6 year. If I'm not mistaken, right?
I'm not sure off the top of my head personally.
Yeah, because that was the year we lost to Baker Mayfield. And he staked that stupid ass flag in the Blocko. And then we also got
the flag.
Demolished.
What a legendary moment.
Iowa.
The flag was a legendary moment in Ohio State history.
Yeah, but it's okay. A Buckeye got revenge later on in life.
I mean, that's true. That's true. That's true. They did. Oh. So going to be kicking off here with the college football ranks here momentarily. Do we want to go ahead and kind of throw out who we think is going to be the top 4 right now? Is it unchanged, I suppose?
Yeah, it's going to be unchanged.
So Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, USC at 5.
This could have been one crazy weekend.
I mean, yeah, you had TCU win by a last-second field goal.
Michigan by a last-second field goal.
You had Michigan winning by a last-second field goal. You had
Georgia only putting up 16 points to Kentucky.
Yeah, and then you had Ohio State struggling with the first quarter and a half with
That's what we always do, though. We wait until halftime and then we just come back out and blow our enemies out of the water.
Let's see.
Okay, so we've got Louisville, Cincinnati, Texas, UCF, and Oregon State's the top, the 21 through 25.
Go Beavs! Let's go, baby. Shout out to the Beavs. They're going to get a big upset this weekend. Calling it now.
Cincinnati and UCF fighting for that New Year's Six bowl game.
Yep. True. Let me go actually look at something real quick.
I love that Arkansas beat Cincinnati and Cincinnati's continuing to play good to make us look better. But then you got Texas A&M and that loss that just completely throws it out the fucking window.
I'm really not liking how Texas and Louisville are in the top 25 though with 4 losses. It really does not sit well with me.
I'm drawing a complete blank right now. USC beat Tulane or Tulane beat USC?
I think USC beat Tulane.
Okay.
I think.
Talk about UCF?
Yeah, UCF.
Oh.
They lost to Tulane.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Now you're making me second guess. Hold on.
Okay, so.
Okay, no, Tulane did lose to UCF. It's their only loss. So currently, because you mentioned Cincinnati and UCF fighting for that New York Six, whatever. I was looking at the American Conference right now. In conference play, Cincinnati and Tulane are both 6-1. UCF is 5-2. Tulane's one loss is to UCF. So that's a very tight race right there because Cincinnati is 9-2, Tulane 9-2, UCF 8-3, 5-2 in conference play. We got the next ones up: Ole Miss at 20, Tulane at 19, UCLA at 18, North Carolina at 17. They had an unfortunate loss this weekend, and fuck Florida State at 16.
Yeah, North Carolina was still alive before this weekend.
Yeah, I know. And in terms of other, awards and stuff, Drake May was very much in that Heisman race before that loss too. And now his odds have gone down. Whenever we get to the Heisman talk, I've got the odds, the current odds pulled up right now too. So what about Coastal Carolina?
So 15 through 11, we've got 15 Notre Dame, 14 Utah, 13 Washington, 12 Kansas State, and 11 Penn State.
So Tennessee's still in the top 10. Okay. In terms of Coastal Carolina, I feel like they're going to easily get that Sun Belt. Troy is going to be who they should be going up against on the other side. Troy or South Alabama, but Coastal Carolina will take that conference, but I don't think they'll make it much. I don't think they'll make like New Year's Six, whatever. That's what you're asking. I think they'll go more to American, but we'll see.
I honestly think that either Troy or South Alabama are going to smack the hell out of Coastal Carolina.
Okay.
Coastal Carolina is nowhere near as good as they were last year.
Yeah, they lost their swagger, even though they still have a lot of the same players too. That was wild to
Yeah.
me. They have a lot of the same players that just like made them who they are. But yet I don't know. They just went to their head or something. I don't know because they've kind of the mullets are not strong enough there. I guess they've lost all their mullet power. Whatever superpowers it gave them.
It'll be a good game though, James Madison and Coastal Carolina this weekend.
Lots of good games this weekend. This is one of my favorite weeks of. Yeah, they are 9-1 right now. Correct. This is gonna be one of my favorite weeks in college football every single year. I love calling rivalry games, and this week is just filled with them, and I'm here for it. So yes, they are 9-1 right now, Chad. And like I said, they'll end up going up against either Troy or South Alabama in that conference championship, as long as things go out correctly.
So Tennessee at 10.
Yeah, Tennessee at 10. Okay.
Honestly, I thought them losing Hendon Hooker. I think losing to Hendon Hooker probably should have been a bit more of a drop. I think the 5 spots alone, losing to South Carolina like they did, was respectable. And then losing another 2 to 3 spots for not having Hendon Hooker for the rest of the year would have been okay. But looks like they just said 10 was a good.
But it's okay though. There's only 7 teams that are still alive within the playoffs. So
yeah, we're gonna go over that here soon.
10 is perfectly fine for them.
Oregon at 9. Okay. Well, don't worry. They're about to get dropped out of the top 10 here after this weekend. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, big time. They had a damn good win, though. Nice revenge game against Utah.
Let's see. Oh, also for everyone watching and listening to the show right now who may be in our college football poll, for this upcoming weekend, we are calling every single college game except 2. Because literally as we are live right now, there are 2 games being played as we speak. Ball State and Miami, Ohio, and Bowling Green, Ohio. So I didn't want to put...
Mac Nation, baby.
Mac Nation, running that Tuesday slot. So I didn't want to put anyone under the gun for those 2 games. So all the games that we are calling, which like I said is everything in FBS play, starts on Thursday with the Egg Bowl. I believe it's called the Egg Bowl, right? The Mississippi rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That one is kicking off 6 p.m. on Thursday. Clemson at number 8. Okay.
How did they not have Clemson over Alabama? Clemson is still alive in the playoff hunt. Alabama is not.
They seem to think, well, it's Nick
I
Saban.
mean, I think what it comes down to is the strength of the schedule and strength of the conference and the teams that you lost to, right? I mean, Clemson not only got beat by Notre Dame, but they got routed. And then Alabama's 2 losses are to Tennessee and LSU, which are both, I mean, up until this week was playoff contention teams.
Right.
And they didn't get routed. They lost by, less than 1 score to both teams.
I don't believe in a 2-loss eliminated Alabama being over a 1-loss.
Chad
Still in
also
the hunt,
throws
Clemson.
out there, good point, that Bama has 1 top 25 win this season. Alabama at 7. There it is. Shameful, honestly. I think Clemson's overrated as shit, but in terms of how this season's gone, Clemson should be above Alabama at this point.
I mean, I don't agree. I mean, I like them at 8 and 7.
Okay. Coming up next, we got the top 6. So, okay. So how are we calling this top 6, boys? How are we feeling on it? You think it's going to be the exact same, or are you going to make any special spicy twists there?
It's got to be the exact same. I don't
I
see that
agree.
with all the craziness that happened this weekend. There's no shot that they.
Jacob, did your mic just cut out?
Unless-
Oh, there you are.
Unless they put USC over LSU.
I mean, I think USC is at 5 personally. USC is my 5.
They just, I mean, had a great game against the UCLA. So that was a top 25 ranked game. So I don't know.
I mean, that's a fair point, but I don't know, man. I think USC is my number 5 personally. Man, wouldn't it be wild though? Lincoln Riley's first year at USC gets to the college football playoffs with him. And it's not even because they're like such a dominant team. It's just because of how everything else played out.
Yep. You just imagine though, if all four of the top teams lost this past weekend. Imagine
that's the kind of chaos that I want.
Through the heads of that committee.
That's the level of chaos that I want.
And I mean, let's be real also, guys. You got to think, in my opinion, this is going to be the last year of this top 4. I think, seriously, they're going to talk this offseason, and I think they are going to push this 12 teams to be next year.
There is one bowl game that is blocking that right now. There's one hurdle, and that is the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl committee wants their time slot just to remain the same on January 1st, but that would mess up the playoffs a little bit.
All right, here we go. Top 6. No surprise there. Georgia at 1. No, I'm actually lying. That's the biggest shocker here. I'm blown away that Georgia at number 1. I really thought they were going to fall to 6 personally. Like, this is mind blowing to me. Ohio State at 2. That's also shocking. I thought they were going to fall down to like number 7. Sheesh. What is going on with this committee right now?
Yikes. Man. Yikes.
Where's the Beavs, man? Where's the Rainbow Warriors? Where's the Bows? They need to be up here. Let's go.
The Bows. They're like 23rd?
Come on, man. They're not. I don't think they're that low, but they are in the hundreds. Michigan at 3, and naturally TCU going to be at 4.
Yeah, the only moves here that they can make is at 5 and 6.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, TCU at 4, easy peasy.
But it's nice to see all the 11-0 teams in the top 4, though. Yeah, that's really nice to see.
Yeah, true. TCU deserves it, man. They've had a hell of a season. Honestly, they've had a hell of a season. You know, if we're gonna be real, off the back of a backup. Gotta keep in mind, Max was the backup behind Chad Morris's son. Is it Chandler? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He got hurt. LSU at 5. Okay. USC at 6. Okay. Here we go. All right, so I got our top 6 lined out there. Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Michigan 3, TCU 4, LSU at 5, and USC at 6.
One of those 5 or 6. One of those teams is going to be in at the end of the year. There's no. However much I would love Ohio State and Michigan to both make it, it's just not possible anymore.
I mean, look at I think there is. What if LSU somehow pulls a win over Georgia, and then TCU gets blown out, either this week or in the Big 12 championship, or loses both for some fucking reason, and then you have USC who loses to Notre Dame this week, and they may win the Pac-12 championship, but it's not by a decent amount. Well, then you've got Georgia, LSU, Ohio State, and Michigan. In my opinion,
imagine
2 SEC, 2 Big 10.
State.
But you can't tell me that if that was to happen, then those aren't the undeniable top 4 teams in the country.
That'd be one hell of a scenario.
Let's see.
The Pac-12 championship isn't locked up yet.
I was actually just pulling that up. No, Pac-12's got no one in there. All right, so this is what we have for next weekend for conference championships. For Conference USA, UTSA is locked. The other is not. Pac-12 is open. For Big 12, TCU's locked. For the MAC, Toledo's locked. That's it. Sun Belt, no one is locked, which really shocks me. I feel like when I was just looking at it, I feel like Coastal Carolina should at least be locked on their side. LSU and Georgia, of course, locked for SEC. American, no one's locked. And then from Mountain West, Fresno and Boise State, ACC, Clemson, North Carolina, and no one in the Big Ten currently, which that's no surprise, obviously.
That Big Ten West, man, there's so many different scenarios that could happen for, I think, 3 or 4 different teams. Purdue needs so many things to happen in order to make it in, and I'm rooting for them because I want to face Purdue.
Oh, come on. Leave the Boilermakers alone. They don't deserve that, man. Come on, man. Relax.
They do deserve that. They upset us a few years ago.
They don't deserve that. Come on. You guys deserve an upset every once in a while. Once on a blue moon. You don't want to.
It's fine every once in a while, but then every once in a while we reserve the right to have a revenge game.
Just completely beat the shit out of them. Okay, so since we have our official playoff rankings, let's dive into the segment that Jacob wanted to do here, talking about teams who are still alive for the playoffs, which we've already really been talking about anyway. So Jacob, what you got? What do you got lined up for? Because you already kind of teased it, where you said there's like 7 teams, I think, is what you said.
Yes.
Whose chances are still
There was
alive?
8 teams. There was 9 teams actually before this past weekend. Tennessee's eliminated, and then Oregon is officially eliminated. Or not Oregon, North Carolina. My bad. I was really hoping North Carolina was gonna win the ACC championship this year.
I would have loved that.
I doubt it. Okay, first off, obviously we had the top 4. TCU is the first off. Best wins so far this year, I'm going to give it to when they beat, at the time, number 17, Kansas State. Kansas State's looking real good right now. They beat them by 10 points. I'm loving this TCU team. Picked up a big win against Baylor, barely. But they have a tough game next week against Iowa State. I am giving TCU an 85% chance to make the playoffs.
Okay.
Just since Tennessee's eliminated, I gave them before this weekend a 5% chance to make the playoffs, and they failed. Next up, Clemson. Their best wins, I would say, were against, at the time, number 10, NC State, and then at Florida State. Florida State looking way better than what they did at the beginning of the year. By far.
I agree to that. Fuck Florida State, though.
NC State, they're wishy-washy. Really, really wishy-washy.
Disappointing season out of them.
And honestly, I have Clemson with a 10% chance to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to lose this weekend.
Clemson. You think they're going to lose against South Carolina?
Yeah, dude, after what South Carolina just did to Tennessee, Tennessee's way better than Clemson,
I mean,
man.
Look, I agree with you. Look, I have it on the script for us. I want to chat about South Carolina here soon.
USC, their best win this year was their only top, right now, top 25. They had
Against the
Oregon
Bruins.
State. They beat them by 3.
Go Bees.
And then UCLA, they just beat them.
Yep.
They have number 20. Right. What is the Notre Dame ranked now?
Well, in the AP poll, they were 13. I think they were like in the 15 range or so for the CPF.
Gotcha. I have USC with a 20% chance. They have to win out, and they have to win the Pac-12 championship in order to even be in the conversation. If they lose,
to be in the conversation, absolutely.
If they lose, they're out.
They would have to win a Pac-12 championship, and I think, Michigan would have to get completely demolished by Ohio State, and TCU would have to lose.
What's going to be very weird is if TCU, USC, and LSU lose. Because who else would you put in?
Man, imagine.
Would you put in Clemson? Would you put in Clemson or Alabama?
Oh, I would put in
All
Clemson.
of a sudden, Alabama isn't eliminated at that point.
So is Alabama eliminated to you?
Right now, yes. But if LSU, TCU,
if all
and
shit hits the
USC
fan.
lost, then Alabama isn't eliminated. Statistically.
Good point.
I think no matter what, Alabama is eliminated unless those 3 teams lose and they all 3 lose, like we saw 3 years ago when the teams that we thought were going to be in there just got absolutely fucking destroyed in their championship games.
Yeah.
Unless something like that happens, I think Alabama's not going at all. Like, there's no shot. Like, they might as well say, they might as well start getting ready for the Sugar Bowl.
LSU, they have to win out. They have to beat Georgia in the SEC championship game to lock themselves. That would lock them in the top 4, in my opinion, over a TCU. If they can go into that SEC championship game and beat Georgia, they're good. 45% chance of making the playoffs, though, personally. Michigan, same thing. They have to beat Ohio State, and then whoever in the Big Ten championship game. The thing about Michigan is the fact that they've only beat one top 25 team in Penn State. It's unfortunate that Illinois wasn't ranked by the time that they played them.
Yeah. That was a very close game, too, 1917.
I was
had
no idea.
I was really hoping for Illinois.
How unfortunate for Illinois, man. They have fallen off.
I know.
So bad.
I know. Now, let me ask you though, what's your thoughts on where Ohio State falls in this if they lose to Michigan? They out? Is it done?
I think they're in. I think
by how much? Lose by how much?
Let's just say 1 score. Whether you want to count that as a field goal or a touchdown, 1 score.
They're in. They're in.
If it's a convincing Michigan victory,
I think if it's within anything,
Ohio State's out.
I think if it's within a point to 13 points, you still put Ohio State in. I think if it's 14, or above, 14, 17, 20, whatever it may be, I think if it's in that range, then you can kind of have a discussion that, okay, but I mean, at this point, I think there's enough there to say the 2 automatic locks, no matter what, is Georgia and Ohio State. No matter
what. See, what Georgia has going for them right now, as far as automatic lock, is the fact that they're sitting in the number 1 spot.
Mm-hmm.
It would be very difficult for them to drop 3 spots or 4 spots and just drop out of the top 4 entirely. Ohio State's sitting at the 2 spot, so it's only 1 spot less, but still, that's a big jump, huge jump. The only way I see Ohio State not being an automatic lock is if it's a convincing, Lord, please don't let it be convincing Michigan win.
I mean, but even then, like, let's put this scenario out there. What if, Michigan wins convincingly and then goes and loses the Big Ten championship game?
Seeing that, honestly, I could see Ohio State staying in over Michigan, but unfortunately, Michigan will have a head-to-head with Ohio State.
Exactly. So then, would you put none of them in there, or both of them in there, or just Michigan? Or, I mean, depending on, because obviously whoever Michigan is playing at that time is not going to be in the conversation of the top 4. But, at that point, you're like, honestly, at that point, I'm just saying, fuck it. Like, I still think Michigan and Ohio State is still better than USC or Clemson. Like, in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
Like, even
I would agree.
Even from a straight eye test and a schedule, like, they're better. Like,
so here's the problem that I have with that scenario, though, is if I personally was on the committee, the number 1 thing that I would view above all else is conference championship. I don't care if you have 1 loss to an unranked team or anything like that. If you're not a conference champion, you're out, in my opinion. That's an automatic out.
Now that if it was up to you, you're not referring to this particular situation we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I mean, if it was up to me personally, I would have.
That would make things easy. But then at that point, like in that scenario, like, are you going to put? I don't know who could be in the Big Ten championship going against Michigan or Ohio State, because we know it's going to be one of them. But are you going to put one of them in there, or are you just going to say fuck the Big Ten? None of them are going to get in because Ohio State or Michigan's not Big Ten champions. Like, you can't tell me at that point, like a Big Ten champion, whoever it may be, if it's not Ohio State or Michigan, like that's where I kind of disagree. I think an eye test does deserve just as much link into a champion, because like if they were to go in there, Michigan was to beat Ohio State and then lose a Big Ten champion, like you honestly and like honestly cannot put, like, you wouldn't put neither of them in there by that idea. Like, there's no way in my mind that neither one of them.
I didn't say it was my only criteria. I said it's my number one. It'd be the first thing that I look at.
That's fair.
Now, if neither of those teams are conference champion and I have to decide between them or a Pac-12 champ USC, I'd pick USC all day.
See, I don't think that's fair, because I think strictly from a schedule standpoint and an eye test, Ohio State and Michigan are both better than USC. Like, I know they're a Pac-12 champion, but you've also got to look at. I mean, I think it goes more in depth, and I think that's why we have this committee, because, I mean, you got to look at the strength of wins, you got to look at the strength of the conference and things like that, to where, like, I mean, yeah, conference championships mean stuff, but I mean, there are, there's slip ups on teams. Like, if that was to happen, like, you could not tell me that a Pac-12 champion USC is better than Michigan or Ohio State. I don't care. You could not tell me different.
See, if it was up to me, I'd go the Pat McAfee route with this. Okay,
here we go.
Top 12 teams, all 5 Power 5 conference champions, automatic bid. The top 2 Group of 5 champs, automatic bids. Notre Dame is in there if they have 10 plus wins, and there's 1 at-large team. If Notre Dame doesn't have 10 plus wins, there's 2 at-large teams. That way, it's completely fair across the board. You're not picking and choosing this person over this team over this team.
The only thing,
you win your conference, you're in.
I mean, I agree, but
do away with all the divisions in conferences, so that way you are guaranteed to have the 2 best teams in every conference in the conference championship games.
I mean, I agree. I agree with everything you just said there, except for Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame has to join a conference, no matter what. I don't care. I don't think there should be a thing as independence. If you're going to go independent, then therefore you're taking yourself out of the discussion. Point blank and simple.
They won't be independent for much longer, anyways.
And I will say, I actually kind of do agree with Shane in terms of the independent thing. Like, I think all independent teams should be in conferences. That's just my opinion, though.
Because I mean, I don't like the whole scenario, like 12 bids automatic, conference, or the top 5 Power 5 conferences, winner gets automatic bid. That's fine. It's just like basketball, right? Just like the NCAA tournament. That makes sense. I'm fine with that. But then to say, okay, well, if Notre Dame is 10 wins, they automatically get a spot no matter what. No. You're in a conference. If you win a conference, then you get an automatic bid. If not, then you better be shooting for a runner-up, because at that point, then it turns into a discussion like we're having now. But I think no matter what, if you're going to stay independent when it goes to 12 teams, then you're basically saying, okay, we don't want to be a part of this. We're just going to play our football. Yada, yada, yada. We're not going to be competing, because at that point, in my opinion, you're just taking yourself out, because there's not a fair way to put them in there and not fuck somebody else over. As far as
the independent teams are very important, in my opinion, because fuck the NCAA personally. They are a shit organization, and every single one of the independent schools have very, very good reasons for being independent. And I'm surprised there's not more independent teams within this country.
I mean, I agree.
No, see, that doesn't, because I have the independents pulled up here, and I looking at this list, I feel like there are some valid reasons that some of these are independent. Now, granted, one of them is about to be in a conference, but of course being BYU. Is Liberty supposed to join a conference, or are they still staying independent? I forgot.
I think they're supposed to join the Big 12.
No, it's not the Big 12. No. Big 12 joins are UCF, Cincinnati, Houston, and BYU.
Is Liberty supposed to?
See, I don't remember if they're joining one of the Group of 5 conferences or not. But either way, no. I mean, that is a fair point, though. I don't think independence should be a thing. That's my personal opinion. So, Jake, I'm kind of curious of your opinion on independence. Because you do bring up a good point where some of these teams are independent for a reason. I'd say one great example is UMass. I mean, there is no value they bring to a conference, unfortunately. But what's your take on the independence?
Well, first off, Liberty is joining the CUSA.
Okay.
2023-2024 season.
They're not completely dead, not yet.
So next year.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing, and real quick, just my opinion on the independents. I agree. 5 years ago, 3 years ago, I'm completely fine with independent teams, right? BCS era, I was completely fine with independent teams. I completely understood it. But the way college football is going right now, with a 12-team playoff and possibly even more, 10 years down the line, there's not a fair way that you can judge an independent team based off of the criteria that they are currently doing. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to if it changes, it could change some things. Yes, it could. But I think in the criteria that we have right now, or even in the criteria that you gave or that Pat McAfee gave in top, Power 5 championship teams, they get an automatic bid, so on and so forth. There's no properly way to put independents in there unless you classify them as their own conference. Like so far, like the independents teams would play within themselves to create like an independent champion or something like that. Like that's the only way that would work.
Basically making a new conference in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, see, okay.
Basically saying like we're standing together to be alone.
I think that with the 12 team, with the 12 team playoffs that we're going to be getting within the next few years. Hopefully it's next year, but it's looking like it's going to be 2024 at the earliest. But an independent team would be able to easily fit in that. I think this would be more towards your guys' mindsets with the independents kind of screwing up a lot of things right now, or in that scenario of the Pat McAfee scenario. I think in that scenario, it makes it harder for an independent team. Right now, it's easier for them, but in the scenario that I brought up, it would make them even harder to join in the playoffs. So really, the only team that would even have a shot, in my opinion, would be, of course, after BYU leaves, would be Notre Dame. There's not really a chance for an independent team to make the playoffs regardless.
I mean, I agree, but I mean that to me that's still singling out like Notre Dame, like giving them specific criteria, like hey, you get 10 wins, or you have multiple top 25 wins, and you're in the top top 12 or whatever in the rankings going into this, and if there's a play in or whatever, or an at-large bid that's not as good, like boom, you're going to be in. Like that's all you have to do. Like I know it's a lot harder than said than done, but I mean, me personally, I just don't like that.
Notre Dame usually gives themselves a tough schedule, though.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, what's hurting them right now is that they're playing, 4 ACC conference games.
Yeah,
I think that personally hurts them right now more than anything.
Well, I mean, so far this year, they will have played Ohio State, at the time of number 16 BYU, at the time of number 16 Syracuse, number 4 Clemson. This week they play at the time of this was USC at number 6. That's a lot of top 25 games for an independent team. I think they're the only independent team that I know of that has multiple top 25 games.
I agree. And I mean, in that scenario, like you win them all, like you win them all, and you go 11-1, 10-2. Yeah, there's a strong argument to put you in the top 12, right? And even then, like if they were undefeated or a one-loss team right now, I mean, there would be a hard discussion for them to be in this year because I think their resume, as far as the teams they've played and the teams they've beaten, how they've beaten them, is a lot tougher than an Alabama that only has one top 25 win this year, or a Clemson. Like it's definitely better than that, especially with the win that they have over Clemson.
If Notre Dame's only loss this year so far was to Ohio State and they didn't lose to Marshall or Stanford, we'd see them at number 4 over TCU, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. And in my opinion, at that point I would have Michigan 5 and USC 6 and LSU 7.
I'd agree with that.
With Notre Dame being as high as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I could agree to that too.
If Notre Dame's only loss this year was to Ohio State, they would be 4, if not 3.
I agree to that.
Yeah, I could agree to that as well. Glad we could come to an agreement.
I mean, that is a good point. Their only loss would have been Ohio State. They'd be in this top 4 talk, but they have just fallen off the planet. But they brought it back though. These past few weeks, they've played some good games against Syracuse, against Clemson. Yeah.
I mean, and right now, especially how the season started with those losses.
Yeah,
I mean,
back to back. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way they lost. But I mean, right now they're 15. I mean, honestly, me personally, how they played these last 6 weeks, just from an eye test, you can't tell me they're not a top 10 team. Personally,
talk about Notre Dame.
Just from a straight eye test.
From an eye test, yeah, I agree. I mean, they beat Syracuse, who I thought was really on a roll there for a while. And while I do think they're overrated, I don't think they're a bad team. They beat Clemson, so I mean, I agree with you from an eye test. Basically, since that loss from Stanford on, they've been a wagon of a team. Marcus Freeman's got the team pulled together. So while we were in the middle of all that, I actually went over into YouTube Studio and I changed the title of this episode since we're like an hour in and we haven't even talked about Heisman stuff yet. So I just felt appropriate. So it is no longer the title of this episode, and that is fine. Let's actually do a little bit of Heisman chat, though. Let's actually chat about that. So I've got the current Vegas Insider odds up right now. I'm going to mostly reference FanDuel for the odds because they currently are the best odds across the board. So after how things have played out with the very unfortunate injury, actually unfortunate, that single word reminded me of something I've been meaning to say for like the last 30 minutes because I meant to lead off the show with it and I feel terrible that I didn't. So since we were on a bye week last week, could not acknowledge this, but I do want to send out all T's and P's to Virginia University and that very unfortunate, unnecessary, and tragic situation, that shooting that happened over there, which also involved obviously some players passing away. They didn't have their game this past weekend as well. I don't remember who they were set to play against. It doesn't matter. They didn't have the game. It might have been Pitt, as I think Pitt even was obviously everyone's given their T's and P's, but I want to it's better late than never that I throw that out there. Obviously we were on the break week last week. I shared it on Twitter and stuff, but still wanted to be able to throw it here out in an episode. Obviously T's and P's to Virginia and everything going on over there. So anyway, yeah, sorry, the word unfortunate dinged that back into my brain. So I wanted to get out before I continue to forget it as the conversation rolls. My brain keeps rolling with the conversation. Anyway, Heisman odds. So how things played out this past weekend with Tennessee and everything, and how USC had a very solid win. Caleb Williams is sitting at the top right now with a minus 130. Coming in number 2, we got CJ Stroud with a plus 110. Yeah. Caleb Williams at the top of the betting odds right now. Let's see, out of the major sports books, man, the only one that has CJ favored is Caesar Sportsbook with a minus 110, Caleb Williams the plus 100, and the Vegas Insider also has CJ Stroud minus 102 and Caleb Williams minus 108. But yeah, CJ Stroud plus 110 on FanDuel to win the Heisman. Blake Corum with Michigan plus 2,500. Max Duggan with a plus 5,000. And then coming in at fifth, Jaden Daniels with a plus 10,000. And also the next three are all tied at plus 10,000 with Bo Nix and Drake May. So how are we feeling about the Heisman, boys? How are we feeling about who's going to the Heisman show? Is it? I'm assuming is it just the top three? Is that who you have the top three? But I also wanted to expand it just in top five for Heisman. How are we feeling about it?
I mean,
what the hell are those rankings, man? What are
those odds? In my personal opinion, I would put C.J. Stroud and Michigan running back Corum, and then everybody else. Especially in, I mean, honestly, my personal opinion, I would still put Hooker at 3, because I think even though he won't be playing this last game, and he won't be playing the bowl game or of course the SEC championship game because of that loss to Georgia. I think it's still more of a body of work than what it is than what you're doing at the end of the season. And you can't tell me Tennessee would be where they are at right now without Hendon Hooker. So me personally, I would still put him in my top 5. So it would be C.J. Stroud, Corum, Hendon Hooker, Caleb Williams, and then May, I guess. Even though he did not have a great showing this last week, but even then, like 5 through 7 is like who really fucking cares, to be honest, because it's
right.
Okay.
All right, okay. We're about to bring the heat.
I don't understand why any bookie would not have CJ Stroud as their number 1. And that's not even me being biased. Without CJ Stroud, say we had Kyle McCord, our backup quarterback in, Ohio State would have lost a lot by now. I'm not going to get into a tangent. I'm not going to get.
You're not going to get into a Ricky tangent.
No.
Not today.
No. Okay, we don't have time for that.
That's fair.
My top 5: CJ Stroud, Bo Nix, Max Duggan, Stetson Bennett, and then Blake Corum.
Ooh, you got Blake low.
He's a running back.
Well, okay, that's fair.
Quarterbacks take favorites when it comes to Heisman's.
That is a fair point. So I pulled up stats for CJ and Caleb, and I know Heisman obviously goes a lot further beyond stats. Obviously, if we want to go strictly off stats, I mean, obviously it's going to be neither one of them. If we're talking passing stats, you know what I mean. But talking strictly just their statistics comparing, Caleb Williams, 3,480 yards. It's 6 in FBS play. For TDs, 33. That's tied for 4th. Interceptions, only 3. It's tied for 9th. And QBR, 85.4. That's 5th. And then CJ, he only has 2,991 yards, which is 19th. TDs, he is tied for 1st with 35, tied with the Houston QB. And then in INTs, he's tied at 18th with 4. And then he's got the number 1 QBR in the country with 89.7. That's the direct comparison. And then let's see. I mean, because I know stats is not like the end all be all, obviously, but I still wanted to take a chance to compare those two. I'm with you, Jacob. I like Caleb a lot. I loved him last year at Oklahoma, but I just don't know how you don't have CJ Stroud as the favorite. Like, imagine if Caleb Williams wins the Heisman. Like, imagine if that happens. CJ Stroud officially falls into the category as a lot of other players who were officially robbed from the Heisman.
D-Mac.
Yeah, D-Mac was 100% robbed. 100%. I'm not even, like I've said earlier, I'm not even an Arkansas fan, but he was 1,000% robbed.
Don't. Why'd you bring that up?
Your boy robbed him.
We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, that was highway robbery.
Hey man, it's just another Heisman at Ohio State. It's
one that he stole. Like I said, I'm not even an Arkansas fan, but I'll agree to that. But no, like seriously, if Caleb Williams wins the Heisman, like that's straight up, CJ got robbed up front. And also another thing about this as well, since Shane brought it up, and I want to really bring this up because it's like, I mean, I get it. I do. But dude, it really fucking sucks that we have an injury like that at the end of the fucking season that automatically eliminates Heisman chances. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I get it. I understand. I understand how they do it and everything. But like, it's end of the season. You've got plenty of tape all year long of taking this team on a magical run, on him playing extremely well all year. And just because of this injury, you're no longer even going to consider him. That sucks to me. I hate that. I get it. I understand why they're doing it. I get it. But I feel like there could be some cases where that injury can be overlooked, and this could be an example because it happened so late. Now, granted, if he got hurt 5 games in, don't get me wrong, I get it. I get why he'd be out, right? There's not enough tape to look at. But you look at his stats. I got it pulled up now. Hendon had over 3,100 yards. He had over 20, he had 27 TDs, 2 interceptions, and second best QBR in the country with 89.6. This man should be a Heisman candidate still. I don't give a shit that he got hurt. He should be a Heisman candidate, in my opinion. I'm with Shane on that one. That's bullshit to me. That just because he got hurt, this late in the season, he's automatically out. There's not even an odds for him, obviously, because obviously he's not going to win it. I don't know. That's just me going on my little mini tangent, but that's just bullshit to me.
And I mean, and my biggest thing, as y'all probably know, I'm a big taker in eye test, and in my eye test, I think Hendon Hooker was a lot more like Tennessee needed him more than what Ohio State needed CJ Stroud. Just strictly based on everything. Like, you cannot tell me Ohio State is not a better overall team at every position than what Tennessee is.
I'll take that compliment.
Exactly.
he raised an eyebrow at first.
Tennessee would be nowhere near. Now, you said earlier that Ohio State would have lost some games that they won this year because if they didn't have CJ Stroud. I wouldn't even think Tennessee would be a 500 team right now without Hendon Hooker.
I agree to that. I do. I agree to that. Hendon Hooker leading that Tennessee team. Don't get me wrong. There is a lot of good players on that team, right? Well, defense struggled for him this year, but there's not the worst defense in the world. But there's a lot of good players on that team. But Tennessee would not be where they were without Hendon Hooker. When it comes to Ohio State, could they still be where they are without CJ? The really debatable with a couple games, I feel that 100%. But Ohio State there's so much talent on that team, top to bottom. Especially at the receiving core alone. Jesus Christ, you guys have 3 incredible receivers. I agree to that with Hendon in Tennessee.
You have probably the top receiver in the country right now, in Marvin Harrison Jr., who was 3rd string coming into this year.
True.
Yeah, our number 1 wide receiver hasn't even played really much at all this year.
Yeah.
in Smith and Jigba.
He was not even Marvin Harrison wasn't even, like, they said it in a college game day thing. Marvin Harrison wasn't even on starting depth chart in the first 2 games.
65 catches, over 1,000 yards, 11 TDs, averaging about 16 yards a catch.
Yeah, he's just as good, if not better than his daddy.
But he is arguably a top 3, if not the best receiver in the country right now. And he wasn't even on the starting depth chart coming into the year.
There's a lot of analysts that are saying he should be a Heisman favorite.
Heisman favorite or Heisman candidate?
Heisman candidate.
Okay.
I've let you guys talk long enough. I need to get back to Caleb Williams here.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah, we went on some tangents here.
He's not even the first. He's not even the second. He's not even the 3rd best quarterback in the Pac-12.
Oh.
He is 4th. He is the 4th best.
That's spicy. Honestly,
he is definitely below Bo Nix. He is definitely below Jaden DeLora from Arizona. He is definitely below Michael Penix Jr. All 3 of those quarterbacks have played way better ball, more consistent ball than Caleb Williams has this year. Change my mind.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to change your mind that he's not number 1, but I may try to change your mind that he's at least 3. So I actually have the passing stats pulled up for the Pac-12. Let's go through some important categories. So for QB rating, he is not number 1. It is Bo Nix, in fact. Caleb Williams would be second, and then Thompson Robinson would be third, followed by with UCLA, followed by Phoenix. In terms of yards, Phoenix Jr., Jaden with Arizona, Caleb Williams coming in third, Bo Nix at fourth. Talking about TDs here. Caleb Williams is in first in that category, but that's it. And then let's look at completion percentage. That's a pretty big one. Bo Nix coming at the top, the only QB in the Pac-12 with over 70% completion with a 72.4. Thompson Robinson with 69.8. Another Arizona State quarterback, Trenton, with a 69.7, then Phoenix Jr. with the 66.7, and then Cameron Rising with a 65, and then it's Caleb Williams with a 64.9. So, I mean, you bring up a good point that he's not number 1 in the Pac-12. I would say if I had to rank like the Pac-12 QBs and how they've played this year alone, Caleb to me, I mean, he does got a pretty good TD interception ratio, 33-3. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like it's a very clear front favorite of Bo Nix. I feel like he was the best quarterback in the Pac-12 this year for multiple reasons. Best in rating, best in completion, 25-6 TD interception ratio. And then also, now, granted, this is not obviously full credit to him because he's not an unbelievably mobile guy. Obviously, in his case, I'd give it I give him 20% of the credit. He's only been sacked twice all year. Bo Nix has, which is unbelievable. That's incredible. That is incredible. Kudos to their offensive line. I would say Bo Nix 1. I'll give it to Caleb at 2, and then I would say Phoenix Jr. at 3. That's my opinion. But I do see your point, though. I see your point looking at these stats, comparing it. Caleb Williams, favorite to win the Heisman. You gonna hammer those odds?
Absolutely not.
All right. I mean, that's fair because you got a pretty good little odd there, plus 110. Hammer CJ.
Shouldn't even be a plus. It should be a minus.
I know. He should be the favorite. I agree with you. And honestly, with how it looks, it should be CJ and Hendon at 1 and 2.
I agree.
But whatever.
In my opinion, I would have Hendon at 1, but that's just me.
I think people are really overlooking how important Stetson Bennett has been this year for Georgia.
They are. His odd is plus 12,000.
I mean, I just think what it comes down to is just that team is just so good.
Right.
I mean, from top to bottom, that team is just so good. And I also don't understand Jaden Daniels from LSU being at 5 or 6. Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, he's
to
at
me.
5.
He threw for 140 yards in 2 games against Arkansas and Auburn, who has 2 of the worst pass defenses in the country.
Yeah.
Like, he's not that good of a passer. He hasn't shown me anything that he's going to hurt me downfield.
He's good on the ground, though.
I mean, yeah, he can rush for 400. Don't get me wrong. Like, that dude's insane on the ground. But, I mean, so is Denard Robinson, but you see how that worked out.
Yeah, you got the NCAA cover athlete.
Yeah. What did he do in the NFL?
Also, shout out to the fact that
he went to running back and then retired because he couldn't do anything.
Also, shout out to the fact that NCAA, the new college football game, got delayed a year, which I'm not fucked up about. Everyone is mad about it. I'm just like, you need to fucking chill out.
I'm not either, as long as it's perfected.
Yeah, that's my thing.
By the time it comes out.
As long as it's good, I don't really give a damn. And I actually, even though it's being made with the Madden engine and stuff, I'm not fucked up about that. I have a lot of hope for this game personally, because one little tidbit that a lot of people missed in the big announcement that college football game was coming back is that EA hired people from the college football revamp team. That's a very important nod that they know they need to get this right. And these guys have paid justice to the game with college football revamp. So I have a lot of hope. So it being delayed is not a big deal. But yeah, Denard Robinson, cover athlete. Shout out to that.
It's unfortunate there's going to be a decent amount of teams that are not going to be in that game, though.
Yeah.
Confirmed Notre Dame is not going to be in the game.
As of now. Could change.
Yeah.
Could change. But yeah, no. When is the Heisman show? I forgot. Is it mid-December, right?
I think it's right after bowl week.
Okay.
No, it's after conference championships.
Or
Yeah.
championships.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
Gotcha.
I think it's the Tuesday or Thursday after conference championships.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay, so I only had a couple more things college-wise that I really wanted to chat about. If you guys have anything, make sure to throw it out there for sure. So I only have two more things, and one of them, like I already said, was South Carolina. It's not going to be like a big conversation or anything, but like, can we just talk about the fact that South Carolina has been one of the most random schools in college football this entire fucking season? Like straight up, like with their 7-4, which that kind of record doesn't shock me. I actually love their head coach to death. I love Shane Beamer. I love him to death, and I had a lot of hope for this team coming the year. But like you look at like their losses, and then you turn around and look at some of their wins they got. It's just like this is like the most random ass school. I mean, they just got the shit beat out of them by Florida 38-6, then turn around and drop 63 on Tennessee. This has been one of the most random ass schools all year.
I mean, Alex, I think we kind of nailed it before the season started. Like, we didn't know what South Carolina is going to be or could be, right? We either saw them being really sucky or really, really fucking good because depending on how good Spencer Rattler was going to play. Well, we saw how good they can be when Spencer Rattler is playing like Spencer Rattler can play. Now, I think a big part of that is Spencer Rattler's confidence. But I mean, we can clearly see how good that offense can be when Spencer Rattler is playing like he should play.
Playing like how whenever he was projected as the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Remember those days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How times have changed, my friend. How times have changed. No, like it just baffles me at how random this team is. Because like just looking at their schedule, man, you lose to Arkansas 44-30, gets the shit beat out by Georgia 48-7. Beats Kentucky 24-14, beat Texas A&M, which that was still a hilarious game with all the fair food, 30-24. Then turns around and loses to Missouri 23-10, beats Vandy by 10 points, gets the shit beat out by Florida, and then drops 60. Like this team is so random. This is the most inconsistent team, dude. I love it. I love it, honestly. And in terms of them playing Clemson this weekend, one thing Chad threw in the chat way earlier, and I just didn't get a chance to get to it till now. South Carolina hasn't scored a point versus Auburn in 2 or 3 years, but he thinks it will be a better game this year. And I agree. I 100% agree to that statement.
Oh, yeah. Clemson is their weakest probably within the last 3 years, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. So that's going to be, I'm looking forward to that game. Looking forward to that game this weekend. And the other thing I personally had is, what do you guys think about the rumors and the odds coming out right now for Prime becoming the new coach for, I think it was Colorado and USF?
I think I'm going to call this. You can write this on your board.
Ooh, got a board pick. Got a board pick.
The first of my first ever board pick.
Uh-oh.
I think if Lane Kiffin does go to Auburn, Ole Miss will be his next landing spot.
Prime to Ole Miss.
That's a big jump.
He's already in the state of Mississippi. He's familiar with the.
Hold on, Jacob. He might bring up a good damn point here, because you got to keep in mind the one thing Prime's done well, and that's recruiting. He goes to Ole Miss, they're getting Travis Hunter immediately. They're getting his son immediately. They're getting that other wide receiver he was like a 4-star immediately. They are all transferring to Ole Miss with him, especially Travis Hunter. You know he ain't staying at Jackson State if Prime's gone. So Ole Miss might be looking at that with interest.
Are you gonna hammer that?
Is that hammered?
Hammer that, Alex?
I'm hammering it because look, if I mean, who else is Ole Miss gonna get, right? And plus, look, even if Dion is not the best coach to bring in, like what Alex said, you gotta look what he can bring with you. You cannot tell me that if Shadir Sanders was on D1 right now, he would not be a Heisman candidate. Travis Hunter,
the number one prospect in the nation, flips
Travis
from
Hunter,
FBS to that.
Yeah, and you've also got three top 50 defensive line recruits that came to Jackson State. You can't tell me that fucking Ole Miss would not be watering their mouth with that. recruiting class that could come over.
Look, I gotta say, man, I think Shane might be honest. I think Ole Miss might actually consider it. I'm not gonna hammer that they're gonna do it, but I think there's gonna be a conversation there.
Where would Kiffin go? Where's Kiffin gonna go?
Auburn. Yeah, Auburn.
I mean, if he goes to Auburn,
I think that's a log. I'm with Ricky on that one.
Now, don't get me wrong. Now,
why the hell would he want to go to Auburn over staying at Ole Miss?
Better recruiting.
More pay.
I think so.
Yeah, better recruiting and more pay is ultimately what it comes down to. Because like one thing that I saw, because like that was actually a question, because I was reading a lot of comments on this, and that's how I discovered that realtor who said, I personally showed Lane a house. I'm pretty sure he's interested in the offer. And then I saw a lot of comments like, oh, well, good job fucking yourself out of a sale there, buddy. That's true. He probably did fuck himself out of a sale there. Either way, one thing that a lot of people point out is that you look at the pristine of Auburn versus Ole Miss. While Auburn sucks ass right now, you look at the overall pristine of Auburn as a whole, where they've got natties, they've been to natties, and they've won conference championships. While Ole Miss is like, hey, we're Ole Miss. How's it going? So that is a fair point that he may be looking at. I feel like Auburn's a step up from Ole Miss personally.
Overall, yes. Right now, no.
Yeah, right this exact second, no, it's not. But I think as a whole, the big picture, which, when it comes to college football, it's all about the big picture in most cases. When the program has, as long as the program is, and a coach is building towards something, there's patience and, it's part of it. That's one thing I do actually really like about college football. I feel like, in the grand scheme of things, Auburn is the better play. So, yeah, Dion to Ole Miss, though. That's a call. Put that on the board. He wants that on the board. That's Shane's call for the board. I didn't even think about that, honestly. I was still just focused on USF or Colorado. And if I had to pick, he may go to USF just because of the area. Florida, he played college football in Florida State. But, Colorado being
if he wants to have a good head coaching career at either of the schools, he'd go to Colorado.
Yeah, exactly. He'd go to Colorado easy. But Ole Miss,
you cannot tell me the AD in Ole Miss should not give him a call.
I agree to that. I think they should at least give him a call. Am I gonna hammer what Shane's saying that he's gonna be the next coach? I won't hammer that, but I will hammer they need to give him a call.
Because the only other D1 school that Ole Miss has to contend with for recruiting is Mississippi State, right?
Yep. Who stinks?
Exactly.
Well, they have Mike Leach, but they still stink.
And as far as D1, you have Southern Miss and who's in the Sun Belt, I think, or whatever the fuck they're in. But you go to Ole Miss, you're taking over not only, you're taking over the state of Mississippi if you don't already own it right now at Jackson State. Like I said, he's already in the state of Mississippi.
He got College Game Day to come down there.
He's already technically taking over that state. He already knows recruiting in the area. He already has his ties. To me, it's simple. If you lose a coach like Lane Kiffin, you've got to look at Dion and just think about the players that he's just going to get just through his recruiting.
Yeah.
And the transfer portal.
Hey, he's got Barstool money too. Keep that in mind. He's got Barstool money backing him.
That is a call that if I'm serious. The second Lane Kiffin comes in and tells me that, hey, he's taking the Auburn job, I'm talking before Lane Kiffin walks out the door, I'm on the phone with Dion.
Yeah, you already had Dion on speed dial.
I will tell you what could solidify an Ole Miss call is if he can win the national championship.
Oh, true. Let's see.
If he can win that FCC national championship, I think they will definitely give him a call.
How does FCS championship work exactly?
They have 12 teams.
I know, but like in terms of like, the conference that Jackson State's in, doesn't it like exist in its own realm? Because I have the FCS playoff bracket pulled up right now and Jackson State's not on here. And I know they went undefeated. So isn't it like, is Jackson like part of the SWAC, whatever? Aren't they just kind of like in their own realm? Is that how it is?
I have no idea.
See, I don't know either. Because
they're ranked 5th in the. Oh, this is a coaches poll.
Yeah, because all right, so here, looking at the bracket right now, the top teams in the country who have a bye: South Dakota State, Holy Cross, William and Mary, Montana State, Sacramento State, Incarnate Ward, Samford, and North Dakota State. And then Jackson State's nowhere on here. So I'm not educated in the FCS realm, so I don't know. I'm assuming, seeing this now, that Jackson State just kind of exists in their own realm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just assuming they just exist in their own realm, or they just don't join the FCS playoffs or something. I don't know, man. I thought they did. That's on me. Yeah, because
that's kind of upsetting if they don't.
Yeah, because well, hold on. Wait a second. Hold the phone, folks. Let's do some more investigating here. Okay. I'm very confused on how FCS works, because I went down to the SWAC, whatever, just to look at how the conference looks, and obviously Jackson State at the top. But then I see Florida A&M, right? That's the Rattlesnakes or whatever, and they're second. They're 9-2, and I distinctly remember they were in the playoffs last year. I remember that.
Yeah. Yep.
I very distinctly remember that because we called all the games last year. So I don't know how FCS playoffs work. This is confusing. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what's happening because the bracket's already made. So I don't understand how this works. Is it because my only thought is it because Jackson State's going to go to that bowl game, I guess, because FCS only has one single bowl game. I forgot the teams that go to it. That'd be my only guess. They went to it last year. Maybe that's what they'll do.
I don't know, but I'll just rebuttal.
As good as mine.
I'll just rebuttal this. I don't care if they go anywhere. I think just based on what Dion can do for your program, as far as recruiting and bringing those players over, like I said, honestly, you bring Shadir Sanders into the D1. Now, I'm not saying he can probably put up the same numbers in the SEC, but if he was to do the numbers that he's doing right now in the SEC, he'd be a top 3 Heisman candidate. I mean, he is playing out of his mind right now. I mean, and like Alex said, bringing over Travis Hunter, and then those other receivers, those D linemen. I mean, you cannot tell me that at least 75% of the people that he recruited last year or 2 years ago and last year would not transfer with him. I mean, who would not want to? I mean, that's and a lot of those guys were, top 50, top 100 recruits that were going to teams like Clemson, Michigan, Ohio State, USC, Alabama. These were top tier recruits who decided to go to Jackson State.
I'm trying to find out more about Jackson State and why they're not in the playoffs. Jackson State. So A&M went. Okay, so I just found one article where it said A&M went. Florida A&M went 9-2, but snubbed from the FCS playoffs. Deion Sanders and fans react. Okay, so wait a minute. So they can get into the play. Why didn't Jackson State? Despite a lofty poll ranking, number 5 Jackson State is not included in this year's traditional playoff format. I don't understand. How does FCS work? I'm so confused now.
What?
Oh, okay. So, it was the bowl game thing. Jackson State is highly ranked, but not included in this year's FCS playoffs. The SWAC sends its conference champion to the Celebration Bowl. It's the only bowl game that FCS has. They send the conference champion to that bowl game every year. The SWAC and the MEAC, I guess, MEAC, each receive $1 million for playing in the Celebration Bowl.
Damn.
So, yeah, because Jackson State won the SWAC, it will represent the conference in the Celebration Bowl. So there you go. So if they would have lost the SWAC, they would have been in contention for the FCS playoffs. We all learned something here today, folks. I did not know that. That's so weird, bro.
I'm glad I'm not a fan of any FCS teams because damn, that's confusing.
That is so weird. I don't like that. I don't like any of that at all. But at least I have my answer now. That's just bizarre to me. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I did say earlier on in the show that we'd primarily focus on college just because college football is kind of coming to a close here. We're about an hour and 40 in, so I do want us to get to our pick soon since we are calling every single college game, but I did want to open the floor for any NFL topics that we want to throw out there. The only one for me personally, I have 2 that I really, really wanted to throw out there is number 1, even though they lost, Man, the Jeff Saturday hire, dude, it makes this Colts look like a completely different team. And number 2, I said it earlier on in this year, and I feel like it's coming true, and it's coming to true in the media with the questions. Zach Wilson's going to be the one to hold this team back. I said that weeks ago, and I stand by it. Zach Wilson will be the one to hold the Jets back. And now it's starting to get media attention with the reporting. But I've been on that boat for a long time that I feel like he's the factor that's holding this team back. They'll get far, but he's the one that's going to hold them back. That's just
the only thing that worries me with Zach Wilson. He went 9 of 22. The only thing that scares me about Zach Wilson, he was asked in post-game press conference, how did he feel that he, helped or held back this offense? And he says, I don't feel like I held it back.
That's such a piss-ass answer, too.
Yeah, you've got to take self-accountability and
all the goats do. Like you're not making yourself seem better answering it that way. I mean, it's cool to have confidence in yourself. It's cool to flap your dick on the table. That's cool. But like what Shane just said, you got to have accountability, right? You got to. The goats have it all the time. The true goats in this game will step up and say, I need to play better. Not the team needs to play better. I need to fix this. I need to do better here. I need to stop doing this. Zach Wilson's a bust. Saying it now, I have never been a fan of that pick. I thought BYU was overrated as shit when he was there. I still think they're overrated as shit now, going to the Big 12. They are a horribly overrated team. Zach Wilson's horribly overrated. Coming out of the draft, bust. Saying it now, I'm continuing to hammer it. He is a bust. Big fat bust with a big B. He's not like, he's not like Ryan Leaf level bust, but he's a bust up front.
The fact that Robert Saleh came out and said that, oh yeah, I have no idea who's going to be the starting quarterback going forward, even though he is on record stating that Zach Wilson was going to be the starting quarterback for the remainder of the year. I honestly think that this
having him go 9 and 22 certainly will change some things very quickly. Oh,
definitely. This Jets team did definitely play better with Joe Flacco at the helm, which is saying something.
Give me Big Dick Joe, baby, and the Jets going to the Super Bowl.
Hey, Big Dick Joe's a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, that's right. Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP. Let's go.
How long ago that was, though?
I know, man.
He's got just as many rings as Aaron Rodgers, bro. Put some respect on his name.
That was the Harbaugh Bowl. That was both the Harbaugh brothers. That's how long ago it was.
Yep. Hey, I know it was a long time ago, but do give credit to Joe, man. He's held around in the league for a while, and even that playoff run, that's one of the best playoff runs by a quarterback in NFL history still to this day. So shout out to that.
Coming from Delaware too.
I know. Well, he was originally in Michigan, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was Michigan. I wasn't sure if it was Michigan or Penn State. One of the two were sticking out to me. Oh no, it might have been Penn State. He might have started at Penn State.
And now you're making me think.
See, I think I just immediately said Michigan because I just thought of the Delaware helmet. So hold on. They're like the same helmet. Hold on. I think it might have been Penn State he started with. No, it was Pittsburgh. Wow, we were both wrong.
Whoa.
University of Pittsburgh, and then he transferred to Delaware. Shout out to that, man. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Big Dick Joe. He's had a hell of a run. Really, if the Jets really want to save their season, they should have just traded for Gardner Minshew, and that would have saved everything.
True.
It's unfortunate where we are, but
or got PJ Walker before he got injured.
True. There's no chance on Bailey Zappi, unfortunately. That's in division. Bill Belichick's not going to do that. So Gardner Minshew was really his best bet. Yeah. But no. In terms of NFL, though, those are the only two things I really want to throw out there with the Jeff Saturday team and how just different this Colts team looks. And then, Zach Wilson holding that team back. But I will say shout out to the Bears, though. I mean, Justin Fields continued to look good these past few games, mostly because we're just letting him be Justin Fields. He's getting a lot of rushing yards. He's being Justin Fields. So that's dope. Love to see it.
I think this game against Minnesota, I think it solidifies a lot of people's mindset and the fact that we could afford to let Zeke go to pasture.
Yeah.
I think it's time.
Yeah, Zeke needs to go 100%.
Tony Pollard was a dog in that game. He was insane.
That man got me 45 points in fantasy.
Yeah, speaking of fantasy, man, I had a hell of a comeback. When I looked at it last night and talking about the ATFS league, I thought I'd lost. But when I woke up this morning and checked it, yeah, I turned around and brought the shit back. So shout out to that.
Bro, I thought my season was over. Fucking Jamar Chase is hurt for the year. Oh, not for the year, but hurt for a while. Dallas Goedert's hurt. I had Javonte Williams hurt. Like, Mike Evans was on a bye week. Like, I was down bad. But then old Tony Pollard, man, put him in there and he 45 points.
And
yeah.
And see what's wild. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say what's wild for me, and with how it was last week, and the fact that I won, is last week was the week that I really thought I would lose because I had lost 3 of my main point contributors of Tua, Jalen Waddle, and Kenneth Walker III. Granted, I still had my other 2 top tier running backs, with Henry and Chubb, who Chubb got kind of shut down quite a bit. But I mean, I really thought I was going to lose that week, just not having Tua, Waddle, and Kenneth. I mean, everyone working together, is what lets me win games. So I thought that was going to be the week to lose. So I didn't lose, and we're going to keep on trucking. We're going to keep on going. I'm here for it. I'm about to beat the fuck out of Iggy.
Somebody, anybody take Dak off of me. I'm trying to get rid of him, man. I need a tight end, a running back. Please help me.
I think the trade deadline is past. Sorry,
Come on,
bro.
Dude, you're commissioner. You're good. You can just
Yeah. Whoa.
You're on your
collusion.
Own. You're on your own, bro. And the thing is, I've got Travis Kelce and George Kittle. Sorry, bro.
Look, dude, and it'll only help you. Look, man. Look.
I've got 2. I'm good.
You have Odell. There's like a 90% chance he will be a Cowboy.
I'm waiting. I've been diamond hands on Odell for like 4 weeks.
Odell will be a Cowboy after Thanksgiving. Okay.
Yeah, I just saw at the bottom of ESPN that he could be after Thanksgiving.
Look, take Dak. You'll have Dak and Odell. Come on, bro.
No, Shane, I 100% understand your pain right now with tight ends because I also have Dallas Goedert on my roster. But I have a decent backup in Cole Kmet, so
I picked up 2 tight ends for this week. I picked up Pittsburgh's tight end Fremont or Freehoot or whatever the fuck his name is, and Hayden Hurst. And I was like, which one am I gonna play? I was like, okay, no receiver has really been producing for Cincinnati since Jamar went down. So fuck it, I'm putting Hayden Hurst in there. But then fucking Tyler Boyd and fucking what's the other receiver's name? It's escaping me right now.
Come on.
But they went off. I'm like, bro, what is this?
He forgot the name. He lost the name completely.
Whoever picked up T.J. Hawkinson at the beginning of the year.
That's his fucking name. T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd went off.
Whoever picked up T.J. Hawkinson in this year struck gold.
Oh, for sure.
True.
But what really stood out to me as far as the NFL goes was when I was watching the Bengals-Steelers game and a graphic came up for the playoff hunt as far as the AFC goes. Before the conclusion of that game, because obviously the Bengals won and jumped into a wild card spot. Before that, every single AFC East team was in the playoffs.
True. They were all in the hunt.
4 teams. That is insane. Because I definitely did not expect that this past offseason.
Yeah, I agree. When I saw that, it was baffling to me as well. Now things obviously changed quite a bit. But in talking about the AFC East, man, what a way to lose that game, though. Like, for real. What a way to lose that game. That is a Jets way to lose, my friend. That is a Jets way to lose.
Yep, caught up with them.
Anything else you guys want to chat about with NFL, or are we ready to get to picks?
I'm good with picks.
Okay. The only last thing I want to throw out there, because you were talking about struck gold with TJ Hawkinson on fantasy, whatever. I know it took a while, but I believed. And I feel like I struck gold with Kenneth Walker because I drafted him. Okay. I didn't pick him up. I drafted him. I held diamond hands with him, and it has paid off. I knew it would. I knew it'd be a matter of time. And I'm glad I've held on diamond hands on that one. Shout out to
Can you please call up Cole Kmet and tell him to get a bunch of points this week?
I'll try.
Please.
I'll try. I'll pull some connections.
Okay.
Okay, so let's actually get to picks. Hit the music now, I guess. So we're actually going to start with NFL because we're going to get through that pretty quickly. Everything else is going to take a while. And also, if you guys could, I don't care if you do it in a Discord message to me or to ATFS General, whatever, but also have a Discord message ready because I am so incredible at planning. And I totally forgot to hit you guys up in advance to prepare that we're doing the FCS playoff predictions all throughout the whole playoffs because it's not on Run Your Pool. It's not on Run Your Pool or We'd Be Good. They don't have those games on there for whatever reason, even though they had FCS games on there all year long. But now they don't have the FCS playoffs, so we're going to have to do that separately and keep track of it separately. But anyway, kicking things off with NFL. So Week 11, it was already mentioned earlier that we all had a down week. We did. Brady, Jacob, you guys came out on top with 8 and 6s. We had 3 people at 7 and 7, and Ricky down at 6 and 8. Steve and Jacob, you guys are tied for first, 96-68. Shane 93-71. Me 92-72, along with Ricky 92-72. Brady with a 90-74, and Tyler, Tyler looks like he forgot to put picks in this last weekend, so he's down 82-68, and we know Iggy's been out for a while. All right, so let me get the picks pulled up. All right, Thanksgiving Day games, boys. Here we go. Buffalo at Detroit. Man, this Detroit team, it's a different team. I'm just saying.
3-0 run, 3-win streak, bro.
Brand new Lions, as Foxy would say. Are the Lions fans about to have a 4th victory beer in a row?
No, it's Buffalo Bills all the way, man. That team's. Even though they have not looked as good as they have been, I'm still going Buffalo. That offense is just fucking dynamic.
Them Lions are about to have a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, here we go. I love it. Give me the Lions. Let's go.
Let's go.
You're going to have a good Thanksgiving, baby. All right, Giants and Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys.
Statistically speaking, we do not play good on Thanksgiving.
That is true.
That is true, but
it ruins my fucking holiday every damn year.
But I will say this: I'll give some credit. 2 weeks ago, I kind of dogged on Dallas a little bit more than I usually do. With that win this past Sunday or whenever the game was, they looked like to me a top 3 team in the NFL. That team looked amazing. What they did to them. I'm going Cowboys because if they continue on, I'm gonna have to give Ricky his earnings because me and him had a big debate on Dallas could go to the Super Bowl, and I told him that he's fucking insane. But I will give him his credit. If they do that or anything close to that, this Dallas team's gonna be dangerous.
See, that's what Dallas does, though. They if they fire on all cylinders, they can hold 40+ points on a team. But it's inconsistent. It's always been inconsistent under Mike McCarthy and Jason Garrett.
True. I got the Cowboys as well.
Fucking Cowboys. I hope.
Yeah,
please,
got
God.
the Cowboys. New England versus Minnesota. Minnesota gonna bounce back or not? I mean, that was a dangerous loss, really, and this is now about to be primetime Kirk. So I'm kind of more leaning towards New England on this one.
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots.
I'm locking
really
in Pats.
wasn't that game that they played. I mean, it was against Dallas, right? Wasn't that prime time as well. It was Sunday night, right?
No,
that was just a regular game. Afternoon, maybe.
Yeah, it was 4:25, 3:25
Okay.
your guys' time.
Yeah. Man, with it being Thursday night, Thanksgiving, it's tough to go with Minnesota here, but I'm on the Kirk train, man. He's still playing pretty well. I'm gonna say he's gonna get him a primetime win here, man. I'm going with the Vikes.
Yeah, Patriots for me. All right, Sunday, Denver at Carolina, who is being led by Sam Darnold.
Battle of the booties.
Denver picked
Battle
up a
of
win.
Shane versus Iggy.
Or no, wait. Did Denver win against the Raiders?
No, they lost.
Yikes! Give me the Carolina Panthers.
I'm locking in the Panthers because I just have a weird gut feeling that Sam Darnold's about to come out slinging.
Look, it comes down to quarterback play, and right now Sam Darnold has the upper hand because I saw this TikTok the other day.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, Russell Wilson has more bathrooms in his fucking house than he does touchdowns this year. I'm going Carolina.
Okay.
When would you ever hear that Sam Darnold has the upper hand on Russell Wilson?
And Sam Darnold hasn't played in fucking 4 weeks.
Sam Darnold about to show them ghosts to Russell Wilson this week.
All right, Atlanta at Washington. Give me Washington on this one.
Yep.
Give me the Falcons.
Oh, come on.
All right, Houston at Miami. Give me the Fins.
Yeah, Falcons.
Yep.
Cincinnati at Tennessee. Give me Tennessee. I like Tennessee here.
Give me Cincy.
Treylon Burks had a blow-up game this past week.
He's not going to be able to do that against the secondary for Cincinnati. I will tell you that much.
Oh, he's not going to be able to blow by Eli Apple? Really?
Okay, hold on now.
Okay, really? All right. All right. I'm going Cincinnati.
Okay, man.
All right.
That's not the bully Eli Apple. What am I talking about?
All right. Chicago at the Jets. Give me Chicago. And I will also say, I went back out of curiosity and I looked at all my picks on Bears games this year. I think I've only gotten 2 correct. And I'm not saying like I'm calling the Bears to win. I mean just the game in general. Like I'll call the other team and the Bears will win. Like I've only got 2 games all year long of the Bears correct to further add to that I am cursed when it comes to picking my team. I'm going with the Bears.
If the Jets are starting Zach Wilson this week, I'm going to go with the Bears. But if they're starting Joe Flacco, I'd go with the Jets. As of right now, it's Zach Wilson, so I'm going with the Bears.
Fair.
I agree. I think if news comes out that Joe's going to be starting, I think I can go back here and edit this to where I can pick the Jets. But right now, I'm sticking with Justin Fields and the Bears.
Tampa Bay at Cleveland. Give me Tampa. You want
to a really close game.
You want to pick the Browns. I see it in your face.
I really want to pick the Browns, but I'm going to stick with Tampa.
I'm going to pick the Browns.
Okay, respect. Baltimore
one week away from seeing Deshaun Watson
in Houston. We'll follow that up next week.
Also, how are you going to feel with C.J. Stroud being a Houston Texan next year?
Well, they got rid of Jack Easterby, I think, didn't they, or whoever?
Don't say that.
It's looking likely though.
Don't say it.
Baltimore at Jacksonville. Give me Baltimore on this one.
Same.
Yep.
Chargers at Arizona. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Kyler Murray's been hurt since right before Warzone came out. So I just don't believe in Colt McCoy. And I think they even started playing whatever the third string quarterback was at one point. But yeah, give me the Chargers.
Yeah, shout out to the only 2010 quarterback remaining in the NFL, Colt McCoy.
Love Colt McCoy. Love him to death. Also, I do want to give a shout out because of how much I love Colt McCoy. ESPN did Colt McCoy very dirty. I don't know if you guys saw this.
Yes.
Yeah, they did him
showing
dirty.
Jimmy G
and then Colt.
Nice pink salmon.
Come on, it's Jimmy G. You know he's fucking handsome. He's gonna look great. Why do you have to show Jimmy G and then Colt McCoy? You know it's gonna make Colt look bad. Come on.
And then you show Colt McCoy and he looks like he just got done working on the radiator outside.
All right. Vegas at Seattle. Give me Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Saints at the Niners. Give me the Niners on this one.
Yeah, Niners.
Man, Andy Dalton was flinging that ball, though. He had one hell of a game. Give me the Saints.
Chris Olave got me some points.
Give me the Saints.
The Rams was one of the wildest Super Bowl hangovers I've ever seen versus KC.
I think it continues. They dropped 3-8. Kansas City's playing
Give
pretty damn good.
Easy.
Yep.
Green Bay at Philly. You know, I believed in Green Bay this past week. Thought that win they got would kind of put them back on track, and then they lost the Titans. I'm not picking Green Bay for the rest of the season. Let's go Philly.
Let's go Eagles.
Let's go
I hope
Eagles.
to God Aaron Rodgers just dominates the Eagles so bad. But I know the Eagles are going to win this game.
All right, and then Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh at Indy. Give me this new look Indianapolis Colts. I love it.
Same.
Love it.
Same. Also,
Pittsburgh
guys,
offense is just like a flat tire at this point.
also, just because of this, I'm going to switch a pick real quick.
Go for it.
Jamison Williams will most likely play this week. I think
true.
I think he goes over 100 yards in his first NFL game. I'm sure going Detroit.
Yeah, Jamison Williams, their top 10 pick, baby. Finally
Let's
back
go.
in practice. Let's go Lions. You're going to have a great Thanksgiving. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the FCS playoffs first. Put your predictions in ATFS predictions. Put it there, and I'll message Ricky that we're doing this too. But we'll type everything there as we go. Yeah, you just send it all as just one message, and we'll do it that way. Anyway, all right, so let's hit things off with Delaware at St. Francis. How we feeling? Well, actually, no, it'd be St. Francis at Delaware. My fault.
Okay.
I'm going to Delaware.
Yeah, give me Delaware on this one.
Give me. Yeah, St. Francis got absolutely dumb. No? They beat Merrimack, didn't they?
I don't remember. I have to go back and look because that was like our game of the week, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. It was our game of the week. I don't remember who won there. Yeah, give me the Blue Hens on this one. I like the Blue Hens a lot. They've played really well this year.
Give me St. Francis.
I respect that, though. New Hampshire at Fordham. I really like the Fordham quarterback this year. I think he's played really well, but I like New Hampshire a lot here. Actually, no. Give me Fordham. Give me Fordham. I like Fordham.
Yeah, I'm as well going Fordham.
Yep.
All right, next up, Eastern Kentucky at Gardner Webb at Eastern Kentucky. Give me Eastern Kentucky here.
Same.
Oh wait, I just saw. There's like. I thought I was like trying to find that game on the bracket.
Oh.
And then I scrolled down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me Eastern Kentucky.
All right, North Dakota at Weber State. Give me Weber State. They've been a very, very good team this year. Like I mean, I get why they're not the ones with the bye, but they have been a damn good team this year. Give me Weber State.
Yep.
Same.
Next up, Southeast Missouri State at Montana. Give me the Grizz, baby. Give me Montana. Easy.
Oh, absolutely.
Easy. Shane.
Oh yeah, sorry, Montana.
Okay, you're good. Idaho at I see. Yeah. I think we're on the same boat here. Idaho at Southeastern Louisiana. You know who it's about, baby. Give me Idaho in this game. They're gonna win this game, baby. Let's go, Idaho. I love the Vandals. Let's go.
Give me Louisiana, the Southeast Louisiana.
Okay,
Come on. Whatever.
I have to look for the last 3 picks. We've all 3 picked the same team. Okay?
That's fair.
We've got to
That's
break
fair.
sometime. Okay.
That's fair. All right, next up, the Elon Musk Twitter versus Furman. Give me Furman here.
I think I picked Elon earlier this year, and they got blown out of the water, if I'm not mistaken.
I
Give
think
me
so.
Elon.
Okay, fair.
Same. Give me the Muskies.
Okay. Davidson at Richmond. Give me the Spiders.
Yeah, let's go Spiders.
Yep.
Yeah, same.
All right, so got through FCS playoffs round 1. So now let's go up over to FBS picks here because there is obviously a lot. We'll finish up this show beautifully. So leader, Ricky is on top right now with 131.94. Steve dropped down to 124.101. Shane, you're 122.103. Me and Jacob are tied at 120.105. So this is going to be the week to change things, boys, because we got a lot of games to call. And also, I want the record to be known, I literally just slapped everything that's on there, and I didn't realize till after the fact there's actually an FCS game being played. So I was like, whatever, I guess I picked it, so I guess we're going to pick the game. Arkansas Pine Bluff at Alabama State.
UAPB is dog water.
True. They
are so bad. So bad.
Give me Alabama State.
Glad you guys know one of the fucking teams.
Yeah, the Bluffs is where Ricky's from.
Well, I know UAPB because they're like maybe an hour.
Yeah, they're not.
from
I have to go to the
where we
Bluffs
stay
every
here,
week for
so
work.
They're not good.
That's a very
at
shitty
all.
town.
I believe they got beat like 88-0 at some point in the last 2 years.
They did.
Damn.
They are bad.
Yeah.
They are bad. Give me Alabama State. Like I said, I didn't realize I picked that game. I didn't realize it was on there. I just picked everything that was on the list except, I didn't look at the games. I just like picked everything but the 2 on Tuesday. I didn't know this was mixed in there, but it is. So, but yeah, Alabama State. Next up, the Egg Bowl, Mississippi State at Ole Miss. How we feeling here, boys?
Listen,
Look at the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin's gonna be leaving Ole Miss on a 3-game losing streak because he's checked out. Auburn's already offered him the check. He doesn't give a fuck. He's going to Auburn. Let's go Bulldogs.
Okay. Next up, Toledo, who's already locked for the MAC championship versus Western Michigan. Give me Toledo here. Give me the Rockets.
Yeah, I've been a big, kind of a distant fan of Toledo, and then they go on to beat Arkansas a couple of years ago during the Chad Morris era. Didn't enjoy that too much, but we also now have one of their previous receivers in Matt Landers, who is playing phenomenal for us this year. So I'm going to go Toledo.
I think that Toledo might rest some players this week, though. Since they're already locked in for the championship game, there's really no need for them.
That's a fair point.
Let's take Western Michigan.
Okay. Central Michigan at Eastern Michigan, which this will wrap up that rivalry. That's one of those interesting rivalries in college football where all 3 teams are involved, depending on who's going to get the trophy. There's only 2 rivalries like that. One of them, of course, is the military schools, and then this one. I think those are the only 2 in college football that's like that, where all 3 teams are involved with the rivalry, where whoever has the best record at the end of the year gets the trophy between the rivalries. So it's a very interesting concept. I just learned about like 2 years ago.
I'm going Eastern Michigan.
They do got some sweet unis and sweet field. I'm not gonna lie. People sleep on that. If they just had a better fucking logo, they'd be a menace. They just didn't have the big E. If they just didn't have the big E and did something cooler, they'd be a force.
All of them have the different, like the W for Western Michigan, the C for Central. But at least Western Michigan has a Bronco for an alternate.
Yeah. And at least Central Michigan, they have some lines on their C. So.
They have a whoosh.
Yeah, that's something. But give me Eastern Michigan here.
Yep.
But I think Central Michigan C is not even for Central; it's for the Chippewas, right?
That's a good point. Yeah. Next up, Utah State at Boise State. Give me Boise State here. Boise State is locked in for the conference championship, though. But still give me Boise State.
Yep. Give me Boise.
All right, Tulane at Cincinnati. This is one of the biggest games this weekend, by far. It's one of the biggest. It's not the biggest, but it is one of the biggest games this weekend. I like the green wave here, man. Give me the green. Give me Tulane. I like this team a lot.
Give me the Bearcats.
Yeah, give me Cincinnati.
Okay. Baylor at Texas. Give me Texas on this one.
Give me the Baylor Bears. After last week, they look really damn good. I don't think Texas should be ranked whatsoever with 4 losses. Fuck Texas. I hate Texas.
Hey, we agree on something. Go Baylor Bears.
Baylor Tiger Bears.
The Baylor Tiger Bears.
NC State at North Carolina. Even though North Carolina had that unfortunate loss, I'm still high on this team. Give me the Tar Heels in this one.
Absolutely. Yeah, Drake May's about to have like 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think North Carolina's playing Clemson in the ACC championship still.
Yeah, they are. They're locked.
Yeah, they are both locked.
Yeah, so give me North Carolina.
Arizona State at Arizona, both mid-tier teams, but Arizona has been a shockingly mid-tier team this year when they were projected to be at the bottom.
I don't really watch these 2 teams much, mostly because of the time difference, and also who wants to keep up with an Arizona team. Like most of the West Coast teams that I keep up with is like Oregon.
Now I will say I kept up with Arizona State for a few years when my grandmother lived out there.
I did too. And I really started keeping up with Arizona State a little bit more in the previous years, just because when they did a redesign of their logos and their jerseys and stuff, they're pretty fucking fire. So I'm going Arizona State just based on that.
I kind of like the Wildcats here.
Yeah, I'm liking the Wildcats way too much.
They've had a interesting bounce back year, in my opinion. New Mexico at Colorado State, who I am the head coach of in my current revamped dynasty. Go Rams, baby.
Look, I've been trying to play revamped. I finally got it all installed, got everything going, and I'm trying to play an Arkansas dynasty. But every single time I get to the third quarter and my game just fucking crashes. It just pauses and doesn't let me get past it. Like every time, it's like the same time between 2 minutes and 3 minutes in the third quarter. It just fucking freezes. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, I will Colorado State.
Here we go.
Just because
go Rams.
We beat.
Yeah. Give me Colorado State. This is a shitty game.
Yeah, it is.
Arkansas at Missouri. This battle line rivalry. Give me Missouri.
I did call Missouri winning this game way back, like 5 or 6 weeks ago at this point.
I just do it to spite you at this point, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I will never ever, even though this is not a rivalry, I will never pick against Arkansas against Missouri ever. I don't care if we brought back Chad Morris again. I will never ever pick Missouri over Arkansas ever. Bring back John L. Smith and I'll still pick Arkansas over Missouri.
Oh yeah,
who pick?
All right, next up, Nebraska at Iowa.
I'm going Hawkeyes. Nebraska is bad.
Nebraska is bad.
Bad.
Both of these teams are bad. I mean,
they are, but Nebraska is bad at the bad. I mean, they are like bad. Like Iowa's just bad, right? Nebraska's like bad.
It wasn't too long ago where Nebraska was consistently in national championship talks. Like, it's crazy how far they have fallen.
It's crazy. They had Taylor Martinez, who's
with all of his grandchildren.
With his grandkids in Kansas State.
Give me the Hawkeyes.
UCLA at California. Give me the Bruins here.
Yeah, give me the Bruins.
It's Plummer, right? For Cal.
I think so.
For the quarterback.
I think so, yeah.
Give me Cal.
Oh, okay. Spicy. All right, Florida at Florida State. You know what it's about. I know Florida State's going to win, but give me Florida.
Same. Give me Florida, even though I know Florida State's going to win.
You guys are weird. Give me Florida State.
We have plenty of other games for me to try to catch up. I'm fine to throw this one.
I can take 1 or 2 on the chin. It's fine.
It's going to be that one that fucks your guys' standing.
Facts.
I'm telling you.
Hey, it's okay. We'll still have bowl games.
That's true. That's true. Wyoming at Fresno State. Reminder, Fresno State's already locked in for the Mountain West Conference Championship. But give me the Bulldogs anyway.
Wait, you said who's locked in?
Fresno State. They're locked in for Mountain West Championship.
Okay, because I don't ever want to pick Wyoming shit Broncos.
They nearly beat Boise State this past weekend, though. It's close. It's 20-17. Give me Fresno State. No, actually, give me Wyoming.
Tyler is going to be so happy to hear that. You know, it's really funny since me and Tyler have both, like, you know, I mean, I've been a fan of Hawaii as my number 2 team for many years now, right? Tyler, I basically bullied him into Wyoming as his number 2 team because he talked about them a lot more than he did what he called his number 2 team. And ever since then, it's so funny, bro. Like, me and Tyler both on social media, you will see me share more about Hawaii than Miami. You'll see him share more about Wyoming than Penn State on Facebook. And it's not because, like, you know, me and him, we chat about that, actually. And it's not because, you know, they're our number 1 team now. It's just because there's already plenty of eyes on Penn State and Miami. You know what I mean? They're Penn State and Miami. There's plenty of eyes on them. There's not enough eyes on Wyoming and Hawaii. Let's get more eyes on it, baby. It's just a fun dynamic, man. Because Tyler said, he's like, it's to the point where I relate you more as a Hawaii fan than a Miami fan. Like, that's how I feel about you with Wyoming, man. Anyway. Western Kentucky at FAU. I want to pick FAU because I love my boy N'Kosi Perry, but I think Western Kentucky is going to catch this dub. I just think they're a lot better team than FAU. FAU is not a terrible team; they're middle of the road, but Western Kentucky is just better.
Yeah, I'm going Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky's quarterback is he's so damn good. Give me Western Kentucky.
Do we want to save this one for last?
Sure.
Okay. Georgia State at Marshall. Give me Marshall.
Give me the Herd.
Be Georgia State.
Western Virginia, Oklahoma State. Give me Oklahoma State. Give me the Cowboys.
Give me the Cowboys.
Yep.
Rutgers at Maryland. Give me Maryland on this one. Give me the Turtles.
Yeah, give me Tulia.
Both of these teams, by the way, have been playing way better.
Yep.
In the Big Ten.
Yep.
Give me Maryland.
South Carolina at Clemson. How we feeling? It's South.
Let's go. Let's get a little cocky, boys. Go Gamecocks.
Yeah, let's go Gamecocks.
You know what? Yeah, give me the Gamecocks, baby. Let's get it. They're going to catch this dub here today. All right, Army at UMass. Army,
Yeah.
If you see UMass, just pick the other team.
Old Dominion at South Alabama. Give me South Alabama on this one.
Yeah, give me them Jaguars.
You know, I've been picking against Old Dominion all fucking year. Every single time they come up, I'm just going to go with them. Fuck it.
Okay.
Old Dominion.
All right. New Mexico State at Liberty. Give me Liberty.
Give me Liberty.
Go Flames.
There you go, Shane. Georgia Tech at Georgia. You know who it's about.
I want to talk about it. We're moving on.
Dude, do you imagine? Could you imagine if Georgia Tech had the upset this week?
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Would you drop Georgia out of the top 4?
No.
No.
But that would be amazing.
Even a loss to Georgia Tech?
No.
That would be.
I wouldn't.
I hope it happens. I'm here for the chaos, but it's not going to happen.
I mean, if they were to lose to Georgia Tech and lose to LSU, yeah, you would. But
dude,
if they were to, I think even if they were to lose to Georgia Tech and then beat LSU, you still got to put them in.
Why do I want to take Georgia Tech right now?
You're convincing yourself of the chaos.
Bet you won't.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm risky, but I'm not that risky.
Okay.
Give me the Bulldogs.
Coastal Carolina at James Madison. Coastal Carolina.
Y'all were talking about this game earlier, and you're like, this is going to be a really good game.
Give me Coastal Carolina.
And I want to pick James Madison, but I'm not. I'm going to go Coastal Carolina.
Oh, come on, guys. I'm the head coach for James Madison.
I'm sorry.
The college football revamp. Come on. I've taken him to a national title. Give me James Madison.
Kent State at Buffalo.
I put them into the Big 12, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Or the Pac-12, I mean.
I'm going to have to send you guys one of my favorite ways to play NCAA 14 college football revamp with how I do conference realignments. I'm going to have to send you the way that I like to do it because it is one of the most fascinating things that you will ever see, where like your top 25, you'll have at least 12 or 13 teams in there that you would never see in the top 25. I'll send it to you. It's so fascinating. Anyway, Kent State at Buffalo. Give me the Bulls on this one, boys.
Same.
Give me Kent State.
ECU at Temple. Give me ECU.
ECU, yep.
Give me Temple.
Troy at Arkansas State. Give me Troy.
Troy.
Yep.
Oregon at Oregon State. You know what it's about, baby? It's about them Beavs, even though I know they're going to lose. Give me the Beavs.
Do you think they have a chance? Do you honestly think they have a chance? And that's not condescending at all.
I know. I can tell. I do think there's a chance, yes. The Beavs have been a very sneaky team this year. The line is a lot closer than people would expect. It's only Oregon -3 right now. And it's because the Beavs is they're a lot better team than you would expect, but I do think Oregon is better. The one problem with the Beavs is that they just rely completely at their run game. They don't have much of a pass game. That's part of the problem. Meanwhile, Oregon's got the best of both worlds. So I do think Oregon's going to get this dub, but I would shit my pants I will shit my pants on camera if Oregon State gets this win.
Oregon's only favored by 3.
-3.
That's insane.
Yep. I'm still going to do the Beefs just for shits and gigs. It's my thing, but I think Oregon's going to probably catch this dub.
Give me Oregon State.
Thank you. Welcome to the train, brother. All right, Utah at Colorado. Give me Utah.
Yep.
Washington at Washington State. Give me Washington.
Yep.
Akron at NIU. Give me NIU.
Please let me finish a fucking week where both of my teams win. Please, for the love of God, give me NIU.
I'm going NIU as well.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Rice at North Texas. Give me North Texas.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Got another FCS game I didn't know made it in here. Grambling at Southern. Give me Southern.
Give me Southern.
Yep.
Louisville at Kentucky. Give me Louisville.
Give me Kentucky.
That's fair.
Yeah, give me Kentucky.
Wake Forest at Duke. Give me Wake Forest.
Give me Wake Forest.
Yeah, hesitantly give me Wake Forest.
Illinois at Northwestern. Give me Illinois.
Yep.
Yep.
Final line.
Memphis at SMU. Give me Memphis.
Give me SMU.
Oh, give me Memphis.
Auburn at Alabama. Give me Bama.
Listen.
Okay.
If Auburn pulls up this upset with Cadillac Williams, it would be the greatest thing I've ever seen in my damn life, okay? And I want to pick Auburn just because of that, but I'm not going Crimson Tide.
Okay. Purdue at Indiana. Jacob, what's your take on this? You're the Big Ten guy.
Purdue has everything to lose. They need to win this game in order to stay alive for the Big Ten West. And I hope they win this game because I want to play them in the Big Ten championship game. Give me Purdue. Indiana sucks this year.
They had a good week one, and after that,
I'll go Purdue.
yeah, give me Purdue as well. The Gophers at Wisconsin.
Gophers.
Wisconsin, surprisingly, is bad. I'm shocked how bad Wisconsin is this year.
Give me Minnesota. University of Texas El Paso, UTSA. How we feeling? I like the Roadrunners here.
Yeah, UTSA.
UAB at Louisiana Tech. Give me the Blazers.
Same. Give me UAB.
Yep.
Hawaii at San Jose State. I'm so conflicted on this game, bro. I want Hawaii to catch that dub just to catch the dub, obviously. But at the same time, I would love to see Chavon Cordero beat Hawaii. I would love to see that just because of what Hawaii became under Todd Graham. You know, granted they're on the rise now, thankfully. I think Hawaii's in unbelievable hands, but got to go with the Bows, baby. Let's go Hawaii.
San Jose State.
Yeah, I was thinking in my head, I'm about to say, oh yeah, Hawaii's about to have their first winning streak, but it just felt wrong to say that inside my head.
Relax. Relax, dude. Hey, just watch. Hawaii next year. Hawaii's gonna be back on a bowl game schedule, just like we were. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. We're about to be back in bowl games, baby.
The Mountain West needs more.
Hawaii's about to be in that category.
Until next year, at this point, Hawaii should just take the W out of Hawaii because they ain't catching it.
Relax. Hey, look, all jokes aside, Timmy Chang has done an unfreaking believable job with this program because of where it was. Like the amount of transfers they lost, the facility, and how it was basically the program itself, you know, under Todd Graham, and how horrible of an environment that it was. It opened the freaking lawsuits with the state of Hawaii. Man, Hawaii's in good hands. Okay, Michigan State at Penn State. Give me Penn State.
Get them Nittany Lions. It's gonna be a whiteout this weekend.
Easy dub.
Yeah, give me Penn State.
Iowa State at TCU. TCU.
I would love some chaos, but I'm going TCU. They've played way too well this year.
Only favored by 10 points against a 4-win team.
At home.
TCU. At home, too, yeah. That's give me TCU.
Louisiana at Texas State. Give me Louisiana.
Same. Give me the Raging Cajuns.
Yep.
Southern Miss at Louisiana Monroe. Give me Southern Miss. Actually, no. Give me Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, give me ULM.
Hey, Southern Miss.
Nevada at Las Vegas.
Nevada's a MAC, right? They're both MAC teams, right?
They're both Mountain West.
Mountain West. Okay. Yeah, give me Nevada. I've always been a distant fan of the Wolfpack.
I almost bullied you into becoming a Wolfpack fan last year.
That would have been a bad idea.
I like the Wolfpack, man.
No, Jacob, Jacob, I'll tell you this. It's actually a really dumb and funny reason why I bullied him why I was trying to bully him into it. Whenever I was putting all of like our logos on the screen and stuff, right? I noticed something about all of Shane's favorite teams except for one. 3 out of 4 of his teams were all facing one direction, except for Oregon being an O. So I was bullying him into picking another team facing the same direction, so it's all one line. And because me and Tyler both are Mountain West, I'm like, you got to go with Nevada. They're the only Mountain West team that you could go with as their logo going that, or the Broncos. And I was like, you got to pick one. I'm going to bully you into one.
I mean, look, I've been a bigger fan of Nevada than I have been of like Boise State or somebody like that. I even liked them when they got that fucking last chance U quarterback that never worked out.
True.
But wish he kind of did. But I mean, I've always been a distant fan of Nevada, but I wouldn't put them in my, top 2.
Right. All right.
Give me Vegas.
All right. We'll start doing some speed running here because we're almost done. Appalachian State at Georgia Southern. Give me App State.
App State.
Mid-10 State at FIU. Mid-10 State.
Yeah, give me mid-10.
Battle of I-4. UCF at USF. Give me UCF.
Yep.
UCF.
LSU at Texas A&M. Give me LSU.
LSU.
Yep.
Tulsa at Houston. Give me Houston.
Yep.
Yep.
Tennessee at Vandy.
Give me Vandy, baby.
If Vandy was to win this game,
Give me Vandy. Give me Vandy. Let's cause some chaos. Give me Vandy.
I'm going Tennessee because I'm gonna go ahead and just add that to my scoreboard to where that game earlier won't make any difference. So give me Tennessee.
Notre Dame at USC.
Give me the
Fighting Irish. Jinx.
Pinch poke, you owe me a Coke.
Give me the Trojans.
Oh.
OU at Texas Tech. Give me.
The Red Raiders, baby.
I'm feeling Texas Tech, honestly. Give me Texas Tech.
I mean, if this was about 5 weeks ago, I'd say maybe Oklahoma, but yeah, give me Tech.
Syracuse at BC. Give me Syracuse. BC stinks.
Do they stink though? I mean,
BC stinks.
They beat NC State.
Yeah, without
Who
their
stinks?
quarterback.
Fine, give me Syracuse.
Pitt at Miami. Do I have to pick my team?
Pitt, maybe pick Pitt.
Give me Pitt, man. Give me Pitt. Miami stinks right now. We are struggling.
Yeah, give me.
Imagine not picking your team.
Shut up. Wouldn't be the first time. All right, Kansas at Kansas State. Wouldn't it be some? It would be some chaos for the Big 12 if Kansas got this dub, because then if Texas gets the dub on Baylor, because then Texas gets elevated to the championship over Kansas State. But I feel like it's gonna be Kansas State here.
Yeah.
Give me Kansas State.
Air Force and San Diego State. Give me San Diego State.
Give me Air Force.
Yeah, give me the Falcons.
BYU at Stanford.
Give me the Cougs.
Yep.
Give me Stanford, actually. All right, the game. Michigan and Ohio State. Jacob, I know you're going to pick Ohio State, but how are you feeling about the game? Are you nervous?
A little bit, considering what happened to us against Northwestern and how they were easily able to run the ball against us.
Fair.
Granted, that was a really heavy rain game. But still, that's a Heisman candidate that you have in Michigan's running back. They can't pass the ball worth shit. If we can stop Blake Corum somehow, they're done. I'm always nervous going into the big game. Always nervous, especially now with so much on the line, man. We're both undefeated. Winner goes to the Big Ten Championship and more than likely goes to the playoff. Loser goes home and goes to probably the Rose Bowl. Of course, I'm going to go with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Go Bucks, baby. OH!
Io, baby,
go.
yeah! Shane, I swear to God.
You won't ever catch me do it, buddy. Sorry. Not until I hear. Nope, not happening.
No, I'm saying, I swear to God, if you pick the Wolverines, please. Don't do it.
Come on, Shane. OH. Come on, Shane. OH.
Go Wolverines.
Wow.
You're about to go 0-3 on all those picks that you think are going to be covered by the. You're going to lose. I'm telling you. I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to save you.
He's trying to save his pride, I guess.
Look, I'm trying to save my bracket for 1. For 2, I seriously think that this very well could have 2 Big Ten teams. I'm actually helping you here, okay? Because I think without a doubt, Michigan and Ohio State are 2 of the top 4 teams in the country. They both deserve to be in there. And this is the only way that can happen. Michigan wins.
They're making me cry. On the inside, obviously.
For the first time ever, Jim Harbaugh gets 2 in a row on Ohio State.
Okay. All right. Well, that wraps up everything for today. This is probably our longest normal show we've ever done. I say normal because obviously the draft would be our longest show. Longest show we've ever done here. About 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Had a lot to go over today. Hopefully next week won't be as long, but we'll see. But if you made it all to the end, we appreciate the hell out of you. Boys, anything that you want to throw out there before I hit the music and get out of here?
I'll just say, how dare you pick Missouri over Arkansas?
You knew it was coming.
If Arkansas wins, I'll do a sweet pig.
Okay. All right, bet.
If the Buckeyes win, you have to do an OHIO.
I will. I'll do the whole thing by myself.
No, we have to do it together.
That's not how that works.
We have to do it together.
Okay. All right.
Here,
all right.
Hang on. I will show you a demonstration. OH!
Oh!
There we go.
I will give it that much enthusiasm too. I will. And I'll call the Hogs with you as well.
I will not call the Hogs with you. Sorry, bud. I'm not in this bet. Hey, it's okay. All right, you knew it was coming. You know where I stand on things. All right, you knew this, and you accepted this, and you're still here on the show with me. You know who I am. You know what to expect from me.
I mean, that's why I love this show so much, because I have Ricky, my Arkansas companion, right, and then I have y'all 2 nunheads going against us, so it's fine.
And then Jacob and Ricky have each other with the NFL. And me and you are just kind of vibing. Overall, I'm just the one vibing. Like, I'm just vibing. I'm having a good time all around. Well, I'm not having a good time in my records when it comes to my teams, but
teams aren't having a good time.
That's why I'm just further vibing, man. Like, I got nothing to lose. We're already losing. Like, I'm just here. It's great. All right, I'm gonna hit the music, boys. Last thoughts.
Nothing. Ready for chaos. Chaos.
Yep.
Chaos.
Ready for chaos. Ready for
ready
Thanksgiving.
To have a heart attack this weekend.
Thanksgiving. Shout out to Thanksgiving. That's what we'll end the show with. Okay. Favorite Thanksgiving dish?
You're gonna hate me, but it's green bean casserole.
I don't hate you for that. I love green bean casserole.
Okay, good.
I make
a
a mean green bean casserole.
Yeah,
I make a mean green bean casserole.
I would say the top 2 that I look forward to every year is deviled eggs, green bean casserole.
Love some deviled eggs.
And also ham over turkey.
Boom!
Every fucking day of the year.
Boom. Ham over turkey, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Ham over turkey every day.
But
now, if I have my choice, both.
Duck over both of them.
Now, duck is very good. I've had duck for Thanksgiving. That is very good. An ideal like Thanksgiving dish for me would be to have both turkey and ham. You got to have your beautiful ham glaze. Which I make a wonderful ham glaze, by the way. You got to have the mashed potatoes with like the turkey gravy, right? Of course, you got to have the dressing. That's just a natural. All with this with some cranberry sauce. I don't really have a preference on the jellied or the whole berry. I'm fine with both. Depends on my mood. Green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole. Yeah, 2 potatoes. This is Thanksgiving. All right, we're thankful for potatoes. Okay, got to have some rolls, and then for dessert, a single small slice of pumpkin pie because I don't want too much. I like pumpkin pie to an extent. but then also a cinnamon apple Dutch apple pie. And we're rocking. We're having a good, and deviled eggs. Deviled eggs is on there too. And we're having a good damn time. That's my Thanksgiving. Hopefully everyone's listening. Hopefully you're hungry now. I know if Tyler made it to the end, he's going to be very hungry now. He messages me every single week after he listens to the shows. He's like, you guys don't talk about food enough. I'm just like, I'm sorry. We forget.
It's not a food show.
We forget. I'm sorry.
If I was to have my dream Thanksgiving dinner, it would be turkey and ham. Just because, I mean, turkey, but I still prefer ham over turkey.
I agree.
If I have to have one. Deviled eggs, right? You gotta mix it up, right? You gotta have your mayonnaise, your mustard, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then
here we go.
Then you also gotta have your spicy one, right?
Ooh, here we go.
Kinda,
yeah.
In there. Okay. Green bean casserole, fuck cranberry sauce.
Whoa,
fuck cranberry, anything. Okay, that's out the door. Oh, I'm substituting mashed potatoes with my dad's famous turkey giblet gravy.
I'll respect that.
Phenomenal. And then some nice, beautiful Hawaiian rolls.
That's the way to go is Hawaiian rolls. Hawaiian rolls is the play.
Throw that in there. Throw some ham in there. Dip it in the gravy. Phenomenal. Okay. Yeah. It's...
I'm hungry now. I need dinner.
And then dessert, we're getting some pumpkin pie.
There you go.
And then some beautiful turtle dove chocolate cheesecake.
See, cheesecake's also a good play. That is also a very good play. I'm just saying this, restart it. Cheesecake is, I like getting like just honestly a cheesecake sampler and just going with that. That's the play. Love some cheesecake would be a next good play. Honestly, a little bit of cheesecake, a little bit of pumpkin pie with whipped cream, and the cinnamon apple Dutch apple pie. I'm hungry. I'm ready for dinner. And hopefully you're ready for dinner or Thanksgiving. Hopefully you have a wonderful hopefully both of you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully Ricky has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving, has a great time watching some Thanksgiving football. I'm going to be eating, watching football, and probably continuing to playing Pokemon. I'm already like 45 hours in because I've been off all week, so it's made it easy. I've played a lot of Pokemon, and I'm going to keep playing it. But I think that's it. I think we hit everything. Check out our jerseys in the Agent Inc. shop. Shout out to that. We definitely appreciate that support. Join the Discord. Follow us on the Twitters. Subscribe to the other channel, youtube.com/@ATFS. Shout out to that too. That's going to be used sometime here soon, I promise. I think that's it. So, boys, we got to do it. We got to do it.
Wait. I'll close it out because I've got the perfect thing.
Okay.
We here at ATFS wish you a happy Thanksgiving. We're thankful for all the viewers. Okay. And with that being said, thank you for watching
a terrible football
show.
Nailed it. Gotta change scenes. There we go.